Welcome into the Cam Strick Podcast, episode number 249.
Almost 250, baby. It's like my weight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're up to 250?
Yeah, I'm 250 again. I got down to like 239.
Is that a badge of honor for you?
No, it's god-awful. I don't need to be 250.
What do you want to be?
220, 225. That'd be cool.
Well, I can help you with that.
No, I could help me with that.
No,
and that's the only
no.
way. No, that's the only. What are you going to do for me? Are you going to give me a workout routine? You're going to give me your. What all you're going to tell me is don't eat like I do, and then I'll look like you. And it might be true, but if I don't eat and I come in here, I'm going to be a pissy asshole.
Yeah,
I cannot do that, dude. I just ate Subway, which Andy's
God.
just talking about Jared from fucking Subway, and that weirdo psycho.
Well, I watched the show last night.
I can't
even talk about it.
No, turn your gosh dang phone off. But like the kid stuff. The weird pedophile kid shit, which is just all over the place, more than you think, Andy, with the wealthy and whatnot, the Epstein stuff, with the Jared from Subway, like even like the details of shit, like I can't get into it. Even the John Wayne Gacy, which I'm like all about serial killers, you know, way more than little weirdo boy Jared. But like the serial killer thing's interesting to me. I couldn't watch that because of the kid aspect. I don't know why. It fucks me up.
The kid stuff is just...
Animals, kids, and old people. Yeah.
They only interviewed two of the kids who are older now, but they were actually the stepdaughters of the people who ran his foundation, who were doing like crazy shit, dude. The guy who ran the foundation was like this guy who kind of on the outside was like acting like he was creating his own, like, oh, for a hobby, I like to make films.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
You do.
And I like I have my own little name in my production company, and I'm going to film your soccer games, and I'm going to put together little highlight videos because that's my hobby. That's what I like to do. It's my side job.
I like filming children.
Not knowing that I'm hiding like cameras all over your bedroom and filming you and your friends when they come over. Like, I mean, just very insane.
I know.
So they caught his ass, and even the mom of the girls, you know, it was his stepdaughters, but obviously he was married to the girl's mom. She was in on it. She just got sentenced to like 30 years or some shit.
You're going to get it in prison too.
The women too?
Hell yeah.
Do they get it too?
Oh yeah. It's weird how...
Is Jared still alive in prison?
I don't know. It's a good question.
We don't know.
It's a good question. He's probably locked down. You know, he's probably not in gin pop. But when even like the criminals know there's a pecking order of insanity, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and listen, all you guys out there, man, there's more of this than you think. There's more of this sexual predator... underage, wealthy, powerful men and women involved all around the world. And it's starting to creep out now with the Sound of Freedom, sex trafficking and whatnot. There's more big dogs involved than you think.
Let me ask you this.
There's more weirdos than you think.
So basically, there was a woman who was working for the FBI. She was like a media personality in Florida.
Fired it.
And she was just out to get his ass. You know, he was firing on her a little bit when like they would do some interviews.
Yeah.
And
that's a normal
they
thing.
started like this like phone relationship.
Yeah.
He invited her over to a hotel. He's trying to hook up with her. He went to the bathroom. She like left the room because she was recording all their conversations. And, you know, he's trying to hook up with her, and she is just trying to basically get him to say something that...
Like what? Like, what is she trying to get out of him? Like
for him to, like, admit that he's, you know, done criminal acts with
What did he do
kids.
exactly? Did he... And we're talking Jared from Subway, by the way. Jared from Subway. What the fuck did he do exactly? Did it was just kiddie porn? Or did he...
Well...
Was he banging 13-year-olds via prostitution?
Yes.
In the U.S. and in Thailand?
And in Thailand.
Okay.
So in New York, so I don't know about...
You mean sex slaves, basically what they are.
Basically.
Those kids are
he was
kidnapped.
But they're like, in the documentary, you hear him talking on the phone. All the phone conversations were recorded. So he's basically saying you can get whatever you want over in Thailand.
Oh, you can?
He's like, oh yeah, it's like they give you can get in big trouble over here for it, but over there it's all good.
Yeah, you can't do a line of coke over there or you're going to get 15 years in prison.
But
hardcore.
You can.
But if there's a 13-year-old, but again, I told you, like, the girl might be underage if you go there. Because a lot of people go to Thailand and party for that reason. Not because of underage, but because you walk down the street, there's girls everywhere waving at you, do what you want, blah, blah, blah. I told you about, they might have a wee-wee, and you might be surprised.
Who might?
The little lady boy. The little girl that looks cute.
Boy,
that girl that looks cute. And she looks young and she's cute, but she's got a wee-wee, you know.
In Thailand.
If you're already, like, neck deep in an Andy, and she was, like, really of age, and she was really cute and had a good body. And you're like, wow. And you're getting down with it. And all of a sudden, she does have a wiener, would you just be like, fuck it, I'm already neck deep, let's go?
Not. I would not say that.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Yeah, I might throw up all over.
You're like, what should I do? I remember there was a
there was like an NWA song back in the day about that. Easy E, rest in peace. If I had a 40 ounce right now, I'd pour it out right now. Actually, very good rapper.
Got AIDS.
Very influential in my young childhood.
So there's a football player, I believe, that met up with a so-called prostitute, right, or whatever, a call girl, whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes and they start getting down with it, blah blah blah, and the lady boy didn't tell him that. She's a thing. She's a man, and they got halfway through, and the guy saw the girl's wiener and beat the shit out of her.
Really?
Beat the fucking but beat the shit out of her, and I think maybe killed her or really really hurt her. And then now everybody knows about it.
Should that be a criminal?
You can't be
to pretend you're one sex, but you're really the other. Should that be against the law to do that?
And
is it?
That's a good question, Andy. Hold on. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I would say, I don't know. Okay. If I'm in that situation, which I'm not going to be, I'm a happily married man, had a lovely weekend with Kate all weekend. But if I was in that situation and that happened, and I'm already jammed up anyway, and I don't want anybody knowing I'm getting a prostitute anyway, go wheel your own chick. It's easy, it's pretty easy when you're, like a football player or a hockey player. All you have to have is a little bit of game, and that's the fun part of wheeling anyway. Is the chase. But anyway, that was in my situation, and when we were getting down with it, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, whoa! I'd be just like, get me out of here, just get out of here. No big deal. Take this. I'm not gonna pay you or whatever the case is, but get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna, I don't want any controversy. Get the fuck out, and then all of a sudden, don't tell anybody. Take a shower or whatever you need to do. And just get the hell out of Dodge so you're not in the front paper. But you lost your mind, you beat the shit out of her, and now everybody knows that you're hanging out with trannies.
Man. So. He was spending like $12,000 a month on prostitution.
So that's
escorts.
Yoink. That's when you have a sex addiction.
Oh yeah, so it was an addiction. I was wondering if he traded in his food addiction.
You don't trade in
for his sex addiction.
You don't trade in. Listen. You can go from a coke addiction to a painkiller addiction. You might be on coke and not have anything to do with painkillers. Don't even think about it. And all of a sudden, fuck, you got off of coke, now you're a painkiller. You don't go from eating a fuck ton of food and then going, I like little boys. I like little girls. That's in your soul when you're born.
Well, he liked both, apparently.
Okay. What,
Jared.
No, but don't think like Jared's like, I'm not eating anymore. I like young kids. No, you've always liked young kids.
Is he still alive? Do we know that he's still alive?
He's probably getting... Either he's in his own little cell, and somebody's going to get him eventually when you do this kind of stuff. Again, the pecking order, and even in prison, these criminals know how bad it is to fuck with kids. They'll fucking kill you. They know more than politicians do, apparently. Very weird stuff going on.
Because Epstein died, right? He got killed in there. Yeah.
Where's just Ghislaine? Where's this Ghislaine?
You thought there was like a conspiracy?
Oh, God, yes.
What do you mean?
Talk about conspiracy theories. That's like numero uno. Everything about Epstein.
Who killed him?
Fucking him. The guard killed him. There's a pecking...
How'd he die?
Strangulation. They said he hung himself. The cameras didn't work. All of a sudden the thing was unlocked. Like all these... It's fucked up and no one even talks about it anymore. How about Ghislaine Maxwell?
Who?
Ghislaine. Epstein's right-hand woman
That's not her name.
Giselle Maxwell.
It's not Ghislaine.
What's it called? How do you pronounce it? Doesn't matter. She's evil.
Really?
She's an evil bitch.
She's
the one that recruits him.
She's in prison too.
She's the one that recruits him.
She was the groomer.
Yes, the groomer, legit groomer, and she would have sex with the girls too. They'd have threesomes and stuff like that.
Really?
Oh yeah, she was involved.
Well, listen, and I'm going to tell you this too. Like nobody should be surprised to hear that because that's why she worked for him. You know what I'm saying? Because, listen, Epstein's going to find people who have, similar behavior traits that are going to work for him. And it's no different than Jared. The guy who ran his foundation was this sicko who was putting together these pornographic films of these young girls.
Exactly.
Man.
You know who's
and they were working together. And remember when he got busted, the film guy, the head of the foundation, when he got caught, Jared released a statement right away, like, we do not condone this. He is no longer affiliated with the Jared from Subway Foundation, blah, blah, blah. But everybody who was following that story or reading that, they were all saying the same thing. Man, is Jared from Subway involved? And the people from Subway were like freaking out, like, holy shit, are you involved with this? I'm sure they had conversations with him.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, no. And before you know it, and they didn't know it at the time that the FBI was already, chasing this guy. But they were kind of dragging their feet to where the reporter now went to the local police department and went to some investigators there being like, listen, I got all this information. It's ruining my life. I can't continue to do this. Like, how much more information do you guys need from me? Like, go get this guy. So they eventually had a search warrant. They searched his house. He's married with kids and stuff in Indianapolis.
Yeah. And the wife's probably like, I had no idea.
They pull out all the computers and they find all the shit that he was doing with the guy who was running his foundation.
To be able to hide that, again, I've said this before.
He only got 15 years, by the way, and people are pissed off about that.
Well, they should be. Mm-hmm. To be able to hide that from your wife and kids, that you are just a sexual predator with underage boys and girls. You have a demon in you. And it's always like the killer. They say, the wife's like, I had no idea my son was a murderer. Like, fucking open your eyes up. Seriously, open your eyes up. And another thing about Epstein. Epstein is a mystery upon mysteries. That man, how he made his money, how he got these guys
Billions,
in back,
right?
Billions. How he got all these big politicians, important people in his back pocket.
Bill Clinton.
Bill fucking Clinton.
Big time attorneys.
Whoo-wee. Oh,
Alan Dershowitz.
Oh, so many actors.
You know Alan Dershowitz?
Yes. All these actors.
He's from the OJ trial.
All these guys. Prince, what's his name? Oh, Prince, was it?
Prince.
One of the princes over there that's just shameful. They all have that demon. And Epstein had him. And once Epstein has all these people at his house, he's got them. That's why he was on the run for so long. He had so many.
Was he on the run?
Well, my point is, they knew about it. And he just had so many people in his back pocket. That's what's scary about this whole thing. He had so many people in his back pocket that nothing got done. Nothing got done until there was so much evidence to where.
Well, Jared from Subway, man. I mean, always being 400 plus pounds, whatever he was, and never being able to get any attention from anybody. Now all of a sudden he's has all this fame. I think his net worth at one point was north of 15 million, something like that.
He was very popular.
Oh my God, super famous.
And you know what? He had a good gimmick. He lost a ton of weight. Subway did a damn good job marketing him.
They had the marketing campaign, the Friends of Subway.
Yeah.
Other people would take on the Subway diet.
The Subway challenge.
And I was going to suggest maybe you do that.
I ate Subway today and my breath smells like onions.
Cam is on the he's on the Subway diet.
Yeah, man. I got to get on a diet.
So he would have a turkey for lunch and then a veggie for dinner. Yeah, what did you just have?
I did a turkey. I just like something light so I don't get
what'd you put on it?
Downtown. Get down, when I eat too much. I'm like, bleh, I got to be up. I got to entertain y'all. That's what we do. But it's easy, man. Subway's just easy going to get. And it didn't take that much of a fucking hit. I see Subway everywhere you go. There's a Subway.
Well, they've rebounded
everywhere.
They've rebounded.
They curl. I don't know how bad they were hit.
It's kind of gross. I gotta tell you.
What, Subway?
And it's gotten very expensive.
And there you have to tip now too.
Do you?
Yes.
You have to tip everywhere.
You have to tip now. Next it's probably going to be at the gas stations.
Can you tip? And
I know my boy Will, who's a big fan of the pod, who works at QT, which is well run. He works at the QT I go to every morning at 5:30 in the morning. I see him there. He just talks about the podcast all the time, so I know he's listening. That guy works his ass off, runs a tight ship there. But some of these other gas stations, man, fuck, man. You walk in gas stations in Missouri, everybody's gas station everywhere. And they're big, and they sell food, and they sell booze. Not like the ones in Jersey.
Cam, they do that everywhere.
No, they don't. Go to Jersey and find me a gas station that has a huge opening and stuff like that. All the gas stations in Jersey are tiny, they're shitty, and they have a little car fucking.
What's the name of my favorite sandwich place, convenience store in Philadelphia?
Wawa's a different story. That's South Jersey and stuff like that. I'm talking you go up by Newark and stuff like that. The gas stations are tiny and shitty.
Yeah, I know you're saying.
You know what I mean?
They're more like the gas stations you see here that are in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're old school ones.
Shitty.
They haven't built those brand new mobile on the runs, those Q-tips.
People are fuck QTs. Quick Trip. But the people working sometimes, besides you, Will. I walk in there.
Besides you, Will.
No, because he works his ass off. And I'm giving a shout out. There's no line there. I walk into some of these other places, man. There's a line out the door. There's 15 people working in the gas station. One person's working behind the thing. The other one's counting chew in the background.
What are you doing going there every day?
I get chew, and I'm up early. I get like,
why don't you
I get
buy
the newspaper,
like a week's supply or something, so you don't have to go there every day?
I get my coffee every morning, so I'm there every morning. So there's
gas
always
station coffee. That'll tear your stomach up. That'll tear your stomach up.
Every coffee tears my stomach up. But I get a newspaper. I like to read a newspaper. But I'm just sitting there. I'm like, this chick's over there. She's literally counting chew. And then the lineup's out the ass. You got construction workers. You got police officers in there. You got people that need to go places. They got important fucking jobs. And you got old girl in the background literally counting chocolate chip cookies and see how many they get back and open up an aisle, open up a lane. Let's go.
Are you going to apologize to me?
Yeah, man, I'm sorry.
Did you do it on the radio this morning too? Because it doesn't.
No, I didn't want to bring it.
Do it.
I didn't want to bring.
Platforms.
I will.
Yes.
Oh, maybe I did. I didn't. It didn't pop in my head this morning. But I had to apologize to Andy because sometimes I forget that people like will listen to you, what you tell them.
Tell them what you told this guy to do.
Okay, so I got these military guys that follow my radio show. They listen to podcasts, and they're hardcore, and I do work with them. We play against each other. They're fucking dead serious, hardcore. Even when they play hockey, they're disciplined. They're like, some of them are still kind of cray-cray a little bit, man. They got shit going on, and they're pretty wild, and they're emotional, and they're not shy to hit you when you're skating against these guys. They're not shy to give you a whack, and they don't really do it to me, so I don't really think about it that much. So I'm talking about something, and somebody chimed in on the text line on the radio show and said, hey, it's one of the military guys. He goes, Cam, are you playing against us, so-and-so? I go, I don't think so. He goes, your boy Andy is. I go, oh, really? I go, oh, really? I go, oh, okay. If Andy's playing, I want you guys, go after him. I go after him. Da-da-da-da. I go, I don't want you to hurt him too bad, but give him a little bump from me. This, that, and the other. And I don't even think about it. But when you sit back and you do think about it, you're like, they're going to go after you. No, Andy, they're going to go after you. They're going to whack you. And who knows, they might catch you with your head down. I mean, Andy's got his head up his ass. Like, you can't believe when he's got the puck. Like, his head is up his ass. I could stand in the middle of the rink and he'll have his head down and you'll run right into me. So I worry about somebody.
That is not true.
It's an exaggeration, but you don't have your head up that much. But the point is, these guys will try to do something, and I don't realize that. So I kind of put a bounty on you, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want you to get hurt. And I was kind of joking, but now you think about it, like those guys, man, I'll wound them up.
So what are you telling them now?
Well, I didn't say anything today because we have 2 weeks. So we have 2 weeks. I might even play in that game anyway, just to settle everything down. But once I get these guys riled up, like I got to remember that they're probably gonna do something to you, and I can't have that, and I don't want to have that. Yeah. I got to protect you.
Well, they think that you're encouraging them to do that. They're not thinking that right off the bat. Now you're telling them to do that. So then now you may have, you don't know what kind of day somebody's having, dude. You have no idea.
And they might take it out on you.
They might. They're like, Cam Jansen told me to.
In front of you, Lori.
And my kids are there.
Your kids are watching like, Daddy's doing good. Daddy, it's us over here. Hi. And then all of a sudden, big boy comes in.
Why would you do that?
I didn't mean to.
Well, you got to tell him now.
I will.
Like, not to do that.
He's listening. He's going to be listening to this. We're putting this out tomorrow. You have 2 weeks. I'll settle things down. I apologize. I'm Charles Manson. I'll tell you what to do.
And you felt very bad about
I did feel bad. If I tell them, they'll get you. I got to remember that. I do like watching American Pickers. I'm from Missouri, baby. I grew up in the woods. No,
you didn't.
Okay.
No, you didn't. I mean, you say that. Like,
here, I'm gonna send you my address.
The Murdaws.
Hey guys, I'm gonna send you.
The Murdaws grew up in the woods.
Stop.
The Murdaws.
You're being dumb. I'm gonna give you my address of what it is, and look it up on Google Maps.
Oh my God! Don't give the address.
It's my old house. What do I care?
Well, somebody's living there.
Look up. It's called Bald Rock Street. It's by Black Madonna Shrine off Highway FF and Lynch Road. Look up how much wooded area there. There's parks everywhere for hundreds of miles.
There's a Target out there now.
Or hundreds of acres of just parks and stuff like that. You're in the middle of the woods out there, dude. 100%.
What's the closest?
It's not Creve Coeur.
What's the closest park?
Park?
You said there's parks and stuff.
Yeah, there's just like
state parks.
Yeah,
like what?
Highway FF Park or whatever.
Highway.
I like how Andy's trying to get me right now.
Oh,
go down Highway FF. There's Rockwood State Park.
Okay.
Get out of here, Andy. Trying to get me on something. You gonna fact check me on that? Go ahead.
Well,
look at Google Maps.
Somebody might.
Then do it. Look at Google Maps. That's in the woods. Now you're not way out in civilization. I still could drive. If we needed to go to the rink, it takes an extra 20 minutes.
You know what happens out there? Kidnappings.
You're damn right.
You get those guys driving around in that white van.
Yeah, dude, out there.
And they will pick you up, dude.
Like a little girl walking the long way because you have to, it's not like if you got to go to the school bus, you have to walk a mile. We had to walk a mile. The first 4 years we moved out there, we had to walk a mile to the bus stop, at least a mile. And then they were able to come a little farther, so it was only a half a mile. And you're just walking and people are driving by and there's people you don't know. Sometimes you're by yourself. That was the 90s, man. You can kind of get away with a little more. There's people out there that are living in those woods and just there's sometimes you'll see a couple guys that are homeless.
Did you ever have a scare?
Yeah, a couple.
I did when I was a kid. I thought I was going to get kidnapped. A man was like chasing me.
Sometimes when you talk about things like that, I don't know
what
to make out of it. Because
it's true.
I think you try to one up your stories,
no,
you know?
Cam,
and I don't know.
He's chasing me.
Where, Andy?
I was at, it was a Saturday late morning, and it was at a, next to a school. There was like a middle school, like true story, dude, and he's chasing me. And then I thought that I escaped him. I yelled something that I probably shouldn't have yelled. So he was chasing me.
Like what?
It wasn't,
what?
It wasn't bad. I called him. I yelled
What
him
call him?
Old man.
Ooh. And he's chasing you?
Yeah. So then
he would have kidnapped you. You'd still be getting, you know what?
Oh my God. Don't say that.
You'd be in that little cupboard underneath the stairwell.
Then
he's feeding you.
They find me years later.
Feeding you with
So then
I
I run away. I walk back to the school and he's hiding behind the corner and he pops out. He was so close to grabbing me, Cam. Within inches.
You would have been done.
I was like Barry Sanders in the open field, man. I was just my ability to pull away. It's a good thing I was a football player.
Good thing you're an athlete. Am I even going to chirp about
because I was able to get away. And a buddy of mine was with me. He's screaming, crying. He thought for sure this guy was going to get us.
We had a lot of weirdos, a lot of Hoosiers. When you live way out like that, you see weird things. You see weird people that are just going in the middle of the woods. Who knows? They have no home. They're homeless. They're wanderers. They're creepy looking. One of them creeped out my mom one time when she was walking with my aunt.
What'd she do?
They pulled over in a van and talked to my mom. These fucking weirdo Hoosiers.
Oh, my God.
And then my mom ran away and told my dad. And my dad went on. He was gone for 2 days.
Looking for them.
Looking for him. My mom was scared, trying to call my dad. He went for 2 days.
Where did he go?
Just driving around everywhere. Went to gas stations. Hey, do you see a van like this? Went over here, did that.
He was on the case?
He was psych. I remember, I was a kid. It scared the shit out of me.
What would have happened, do you think?
My mom would have got kidnapped.
No, if he found him.
Oh, God. I don't know.
He would have gone to jail or something.
Yeah, he would have. He would have had to go. He would have done something. Well, he was willing to probably do something.
No.
Or just, I don't know, man. He was wild when it comes to that stuff. You mess with my mom, oh, God. He would go Psychoville. And rightfully so. Not all the time, but stuff like this. I remember hearing that as a kid. And my dad was gone for 2 days. And we're like, what the fuck is he doing? Man.
I was reading some story the other day. Some girl got kidnapped years ago, Cam. And she just she turned up. They found her after several years.
Well, a lot of times they leave on purpose and they're with their grandma. That happened.
Well, I mean,
no, it does happen a lot. And just like that kid the other
this
day.
Wasn't an Amber Alert where the dad picked him up from school and
most of them are that, Andy. Most of them are.
Yeah, it is.
When you wake up in the middle of the night because your phone's going off with an Amber Alert, that's daddy.
This was a full-on kidnapping where they find a shoe behind and it's off a trail or by a creek or something crazy.
What you just said is scary. Mm-hmm. I've been watching all these documentaries of these trails, like the Appalachian, which is hardcore. Appalachian goes from Maine.
I've been out there, dude.
It goes
North
from
Carolina.
The trail goes from Maine all the way down to Georgia. Mm-hmm. That one trail goes from fucking Georgia all the way up to Maine, up the Appalachian. There's so many disappearances. Because think about it. Think about it. If you're fucking weird like Jared, you're weird like Epstein, but you don't got that much money. And you have that
Sandusky.
Sandusky. You have that demon Like, I need this. Because, like you.
He said
you gotta,
that, I think, in one of the phone conversations.
If you have a demon in
he
you.
needed it.
That's called you're a sex addict, but for kids. So you're double demoned. And if you're sitting in there and you want to get your rocks off and you want to commit a murder and kidnap somebody, where's the easiest place to do it? In the fucking middle of the woods on a hiking trail. Mm-hmm. When the girl's like, I'm hiking by myself and I have headphones in. Like that nature's fun. How can I not sneak up on you and grab you and take you to my little shack right there that I made? And I'm going to hold you and you're not going to say a damn thing. And no one's going to hear you.
Because you have tape over your mouth.
And then what you do is the guy's like, oh, he's on the hiking trail. Well, a guy like friends with everybody on the hiking trail. It can't be him. But he lives on that hiking trail. Mm-hmm. And he's kidnapping girls. Yeah,
I know, man. It's a scary situation.
Don't ever, like, Lori's like, I'm going to go hiking in the mountains area by myself. No.
Well, that one woman, she got attacked by the grizzly bear.
Exactly.
And
by herself.
In Montana, on a very popular trail.
By herself.
She didn't have bear spray and didn't have a box cutter or anything with her.
Sometimes listen, if I'm in Missouri.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes. If I'm in Missouri, I am not worried about a particular animal. If I'm in the woods.
What if you're in Montana, dude?
Hell yeah, but I'm saying Missouri. Mm-hmm. We don't have that many predators. Now, they're out there. We got black bears. You got malnourished black bears. You got malnourished cougars. You got malnourished things like that.
Some of those mountain lions.
The mountain lions can get pretty big here and there. One out right by me looked like I was on steroids. Got hit by a Mercedes. Yeah. So they're there, and they're watching you, but they're not abundant. Now, up yonder in Wyoming and goddamn, even up in Canada, and especially out west, like you have real life monsters.
Oh, yeah.
And like, if I had my family, I would want to have a gosh dang gun on me.
Would the gun take out the grizzly?
It would scare it more than anything. You have a better chance of shooting that damn thing. Now,
just shoot it in the air and the sound will make it run away.
Yeah. Or just boom, bam, bam. Like, no, I'll put 3 in your skull. Now, listen. A lot of parks don't let you bring your
and then you sit next to it and take a picture. And
no.
No. Trophy hunting.
That's not how it works. If you kill a bear, Andy, you know what you're going to do?
You might go to jail.
No, you're going through a process where, like, okay, why'd you kill it?
Right.
Where were you?
Exactly.
How far away were you? Were you threatened?
Right.
They're going to go through every detail like you killed a person trying to rob you or something.
And you know what else they do? When the bear kills you, they find that bear
and kill it.
Not always.
If the bear kills you, it's gonna get killed. Unfortunately,
the mom of the
bison,
girl, the mom of the hiker, she was like,
was she on her? You know what?
Oh my God!
I know. They'll smell that.
We've had listeners that did not like that before.
Oh, you don't like the truth? Oh, I'm sorry. about that.
Did you know
Jesus
that I was
Christ.
reading this?
What are they your listeners?
No. Well,
because mine don't give a fuck. Just so you know.
Hey, did you know that telling the truth will get you in trouble? It's lying that will not get you in trouble. Did you know that?
Jeez, Andy, like what great like.
Did you know telling the truth in anything in life is what gets you in trouble?
Tell your kids that. Tell them that off the bat, Andy. Tell your kids, hey, you want to be better off? Lie. I dare you. Tell Ty that.
No, I would never say that.
Then why not?
But do you agree with what I'm saying?
No. So,
because if you tell the truth, like on social media or to your coworker or in a work environment, if you tell the truth, man, and I
tell your kids that.
And I heard
that's the motto. Andy's going to
heard Ice Cube. I heard Ice Cube talking about this the other day.
He did his 50 rounds on all the podcasts,
and they're so right. You cannot really tell the truth, man.
Tell your kids that. Tell little Ivy. No, how's this?
You're misconstruing.
Chloe is getting older. She's getting older. She's going to start hanging out with dudes here soon. Stuff. Tell Chloe. Tell her that right now. This is our motto. This is going to be get a family. Hello, everybody come in here. Hello. Daddy's here. Okay, sit down. Here's our new family motto. Lie. It gets you farther.
No.
Is that what you're going to say to him? Especially little Chloe?
No, what I'm saying
getting
is
older,
like,
Andy.
Like if somebody says, hey, who was chewing gum in class? That's not what I'm talking about.
You don't have to rat people out.
But I'm talking about like, everything's so politically correct nowadays. And you can't tell the truth. If you tell the truth in certain things, you'll be donezo, dude.
Okay. It's just not a good motto to live
It's
by.
not. I'm not
there's
suggesting anybody lies.
There's so much gray area in that. Like you're being staunch. Like it's like Lie at all costs. No,
that's not what I'm saying.
Sometimes just don't say a word. Don't say anything. Well, what if you tell the truth on social media? I stay off of Twitter, so I don't tell the truth. Twitter is so toxic, and it's 45-year-old men.
They changed the logo.
I know. Looks like
that
makes it more toxic.
That's what you came up with.
Jesus, Elon.
All right, we're just gonna have an X.
It looks like Twitter looks so happy with a cute little bird. Now it's like X marks the spot for negativity.
It's like ugly. Do you want to know what the X implies?
I don't know.
The imperfections in all of us.
Oh, all right. Well, I like Elon, man. Don't get me wrong. I think
do you?
Yeah, I do. Of all the billionaires and the higher ups when it comes to money, I think he's the most normal.
Oh, I think Michael Jordan is.
You know, Michael Jordan's a dick.
No, he's not. He just bought a $400 bottle of champagne and he gave it to another player in St. Tropez.
Oh, he hooked up another wealthy person. Andy, that's how Andy looks at people that think they're nice or not. Some other famous person gets a champagne bottle that they could have bought 15 times over. Yeah, great guy. He's supposed to be a dick. Elon is unique, and he's doing a lot of shit. And people like
a lot of people don't like Cam.
Elon's a moron.
You're going to upset a lot of people in Saskatchewan right now.
I think a lot of people like Elon. I think
a lot of people don't though too.
Yeah,
I don't have an opinion on him.
You don't have an opinion on the wealthiest person in the world that is in control of. He's in control of our lives and what you're on. Andy's on Twitter more than anybody in the league. He tweets on Twitter more than anybody. Look at your Twitter feed. You're on Twitter every single day, and then you don't have an opinion on Elon Musk.
Okay,
you use his product more than anybody.
But can I say this? You interrupted me.
Sorry.
I don't have an opinion on Elon, or my opinion of Elon is not really impacted by the Twitter. Like, I think he does a lot of cool shit. Tesla, space, all of that.
Environmentalist,
like there's a what is it like that's up in the space right now? That's like an asteroid that's made of gold and stuff like that.
Yeah,
he wants to send something up there to go. Yeah. Like, okay, so that's
rovers.
all cool. The Twitter stuff, I just can't figure out what he's doing and what he's all about and all that.
It's a fluid situation. He's figuring he implements some new program to Twitter. He evaluates it after 3 months.
How do they make money on Twitter?
They make money off ads on Twitter. Now,
I don't see any ads.
Yes, you do. There's ads all over the place on Twitter. What are you talking about? You're too busy looking at your own tweet. Look at the ads. They're everywhere. And is Twitter perfect? No. Do I hate Twitter? Yes. But they're still informative. Like, I still follow certain things.
X,
my bad. Twitter X. It looks like demonic now. But Elon, I like him more than most people in that hierarchy. Mm-hmm. When he talks, I listen. Do I agree with everything he says? Not really. But he's an interesting son of a bitch. Yes, he's South African.
Okay.
He's African American.
He grew up rich?
I believe so.
Oh, you don't know.
I think his mom and dad.
The fact checkers are out.
I said I believe so.
I just hired a new fact checker. I just hired a new fact checker.
I didn't say yes or no, but I said I believe he came up upper middle class-ish. Mm-hmm. And I think his mom and dad were very, very intelligent. But I did hear things about him in his childhood getting beat up, getting jumped. South Africa ain't no joke.
Really?
There's a fuck ton of crime. Even if you're in Cape Town, even if you're in Durban, one of the most beautiful coastlines in the world. Has
the country calmed down since like Nelson Mandela and all that?
It's fucked up.
South Africa.
The whole continent is fucked.
Wasn't that where that track star with no legs where he shot?
Oscar Pistorius.
Yeah, he shot the cleaning lady or something?
No,
or a model, a girlfriend.
His girlfriend.
Yeah.
Did she
die?
Who was going to the bathroom.
Oh my God. It was an accident though, right? Or he thought it was a burglar or something like that.
He's a murderer.
Did he go to jail?
Good question, Brody.
I don't know because you can kill people there and get off.
She was going to the bathroom and he gets up, puts on his legs, goes there, doesn't even knock, and just shoots through the door.
Oh my God, he thought it was a burglar.
Taking a shit.
Hey, what did I tell you?
Look that up so I don't want Andy to act like he's like the fact check machine.
What did I tell you? It only takes one time to shoot the wrong person.
There's a reason why you did that.
Why?
I don't think you liked her anymore.
So what?
So you have to find an excuse to put her down. I thought she was a burglar.
You can't break up with her?
I don't know. Andy,
he's one of the most famous athletes. One of the most famous athletes in South Africa.
Yeah, he was.
If not the most famous athlete in South Africa.
He's probably a soccer player.
No, I think he may have been the most famous at the time.
He had everything going for him, and his girl was just going.
Did you hear about that woman who hired hitmen in the Bahamas to kill her husband, who was a football player at Auburn a couple years ago.
I think I read something about that. She's in jail now.
Well, up there in the Bahamas, and the 2 guys that she hired. She was like cheating on him with somebody.
Of course. Yeah, man, that happens, dude.
Hey, Jared from Subway, his wife divorced him like that same day. Like, I was proud of her for coming out and just being like, dude,
How did you not know that anyway, though?
Really?
I never understood that. I never understood your son, your daughter, your husband, your wife, your mom or your dad not knowing that they're that fucked up, especially if you live together. I had no idea my son. I had no idea he would do anything like that. Well, what about the animal bones that you found? What about those letters? What about the history you saw on his computer? How to dismember something? You didn't. That wasn't a red flag for you. Is your head in the fucking sand? Your husband's gone all the time. He's locked in his basement, and you didn't look at anything. You didn't check his phone one day. You didn't do anything. He was like, that's normal. You didn't find any evidence, any red flag. Bullshit.
You never know.
Open your fucking eyes. Screw that, dude.
She married Jared from Subway.
Yeah, you're a weirdo anyway. Jared. I'm with Jared. No, that's a diamond one. Never mind.
Who's that?
Jared Diamonds.
Oh, Jared?
He went to Jared. Remember?
Something happened with that, too?
No, but it just, there's a tagline that said, he went to Jared.
Mm-hmm.
And I just put them two together.
I don't know how Subway recovered from that.
They did. Look up Subway and how
Papa John's recovered too. They
came back. What did he do?
Said some racial shit.
What did he do?
Very
racial,
offensive.
Was it anti-Semitic?
No, I think it was like racist.
Papa John, the guy that's on the commercials.
Yeah, the main guy who was
he aged too, big time.
Well, he's donezo, and he's the original founder, and the board got rid of his ass. Same thing happened with like a bunch of major corporations.
Yeah, but what did he do exactly? Was it like a John Perks or no?
Like the Men's Warehouse. Remember that guy who used to say, "I guarantee it," whatever, blah blah blah. Yeah. You're gonna love how you look. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember that?
Yep.
Something happened to his ass too.
Hey, some of these cats get touchy feely, baby. Some of these dudes.
I don't know if that's what happened to him.
I know.
You got to look up the Men's Warehouse. I don't know what happened. All I know is the board kicked his ass out too.
Yank. I do feel.
Could you imagine starting a business? You're in charge of it, and then the board gets rid of you from your business.
What'd you do?
I'm just saying, if it's your business.
Were you touchy?
Would you ever? Maybe I would never create a board.
No shit.
I'm create
for my
the
business.
Board has more power than me.
So now you could vote me out of here after I set this whole thing up.
But they get a lot of like former athletes, like Shaquille O'Neal and Peyton Manning and all these guys. They buy up like tons of Papa John's restaurants.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal is a cool ass dude.
I like Shaq,
I don't love him on television, but he's funny on social media and shit. Like he's got a great he's got a great X account, and his Instagram account's pretty good too.
I think a lot of times these guys that were very nerdy in high school didn't wheel any chicks by any stretch of imagination.
Like Jared.
Hell, never even talked to him. Imagine going to high school. Well, you probably know, and never really talk to girls, like you weren't in the thing. Everybody else is hanging out, and you're just lonely. You're lonely. Mm-hmm. You're jealous. You see hot chicks. You hate them,
and because it's building up year after year. They
don't look at me. They're mean to me.
Yes.
And these guys are getting all these girls, and I'm like, God, I get nothing, and I'm sexually frustrated. Mm-hmm. But now I became successful. Mm-hmm. I got this business.
You want to know how he became successful?
I got this business now. I got money. Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. I'm driving a Ferrari. Wait a minute. Girls are looking at me now.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm like, what's up?
Oh, yeah.
Come over here. Let me touch you. Let me do this. Yeah. And then now you're like, whoa, okay.
Because you don't even know how to act.
What do I do? I watch porn.
Right.
I've been watching porn, and listen.
Right.
I'm not a pussy. I'm not a very religious guy. I'm not religious at all. I'm spiritual. We all know that. But porn, when you're not getting vagina, will fuck you up in the head.
Really?
It will. Porn will fuck you up. Because
how
you have a false
sense
to
it.
Dude, what do you mean? Imagine you're not getting laid. Imagine you don't get laid. All that testosterone builds up, and you're watching porn. And the way these girls are treated, like they're get in here and lick my ass. And you're like, whoa, that's Every girl's like that.
Right.
Right when I'm going to be like, bend over. I'm like, no, that's not how it works.
Is there treatment for these people?
Yes.
And they can.
Yes, there's treatment for everything.
Like the psychologists and the doctors that examined Jared from Subway, which is why his sentence was 15. Like the maximum was 50 years, and he got 15. God. The range was 5 to 50.
When it comes to kids, I don't have any tolerance.
But the doctors were like that he can be treated for this.
Well, then treat him, but he's still in jail for a long time.
But do you think that they can be treated?
You're
telling me they're born with it.
Well, yeah. I was born an alcoholic too. I was born an addict.
No.
Dude, it's in my blood. What are you talking about? I was craving shit when I was fucking young. My mom and dad were alcoholics. What do you think my mom died of? She's an alcoholic, it's all in my blood. My whole family.
It is hereditary.
Yes,
right?
Yes. I mean, listen. You could be forced upon something, meaning you could be dead sober. Dead sober. You get in a car accident. Boom. You had to take it because your back hurts. Now you're a fucking pill. Dude, now you're a heroin addict.
The woman in the Jared show, she got some like crazy chronic disease. Who was the reporter from Florida, and she was taking a shit ton of painkillers.
Yeah,
a ton.
Not good. She wasn't going to the bathroom much. Oh,
you don't think?
No.
I think she was in a wheelchair after a while.
Oh Jesus! Well, like
because of the chronic.
You take all those painkillers, some Tylenol. You all know out there that will clog you up for 3 days, and then you'll have the worst shit you'll ever experience in your life. Like you think you're gonna die.
Like Montezuma's revenge. You ever had that from Mexico, dude?
You think you're gonna die. I thought I was gonna die trying to get this out of me. I would be.
What are you trying to get out of you?
Crap.
Oh, really?
It was
your bowel movements.
It was 2 feet long.
Because
hard
of the pills
hard as a rock
was preventing you from going.
I'm not joking. I'm not trying to be funny. It was the most disturbing, horrific thing ever. And I swear
painful.
Andy, I was bleeding. Not good.
It's like having a baby. Dude.
I thought I had Kate call 911 one time
because of that.
They had to walk me through it. They had to.
What did they like? Put like a bag on you or something?
They had to shove things up my ass.
Oh my god, Cam.
No man, I'm just telling you guys. Yes, I would
at the house.
Yeah, I would be crying so bad on the toilet. And Kate would have to sit in there and hold my hand while I was going to the fucking bathroom. It ain't no fucking joke.
Damn. So the pills will do that.
Yeah, man. They clog you up so bad, Andy. They clog you up so bad. That's why I don't want these warriors to take you downtown Chinatown.
Well, you need to do
because
something
I don't want
about
you,
that. I don't know why you would try to do that.
I'm sorry.
I was like, Cam, are you really
I didn't
trying
mean
to like...
No. Why would I want you to get hurt?
Are you trying to get me hurt?
Why would I do that? I'm sorry. Honestly, I called Andy right away. I go, fuck, I'm sorry, homie. Because I don't realize sometimes that they will listen.
Like you're enticing them to
Charles
do this.
Manson.
Well, don't be.
I don't mean to be.
Because I got people too.
No,
I do.
No,
I
it's
really
all good.
do.
You don't need that. you got me.
There was
it's all you need.
My neighborhood that I grew up in, there was a posse. And they went by the name of the neighborhood. My neighborhood was called Seven Pines.
Oh, badass!
And the posse was called Seven Pines Posse.
Oh my god, that's hardcore, dude. I'd be like, whoa, is that the Seven Pines Posse? Turn around, let's get out of here. They're at this party. Help! Get on with yourself.
So if they showed up to a party, now I was cool with all of them. They didn't fuck with me.
Fuck no.
But if anything ever went down, dude, just one phone call called the Seven Pines Posse. One call, Cam, and they're still there for me today.
Oh, I bet. Seven Pines Posse. Looks fucking shit kickers, man. Badass right there. Right there, baby.
They really were, though. Like back, you know those kids, Cam, they just fight all the time.
Man, I had to stick up for a couple cats back in the day. Actually,
they would have dusted you.
I got dusted a couple times, man.
Did you?
Hell yeah.
In street fights?
Yes. Fucking embarrassing. Everybody acts like they're tough. Well,
I had people that would.
I got my ass.
That would
kicked.
do the fighting for me.
Yeah, I bet. I got my ass kicked a couple times. Wake up call, boy. You better wake up. You ain't the toughest. You think you're the fucking toughest. All you guys out there acting tough. I'm tough. No. Chill out a bit. There's so many.
You ain't the Seven Pines Posse, buddy. There's always somebody tougher.
You don't. Well, let me look at your face. Hold on. Oh, you're tough. I've been in fights before, Cam. No, let me look at you. Look at me. Let me look at your hands. Oh, okay. Let me look at your face.
Wait, what is the hands telling you?
What do you mean? I can look at your hands and tell you if you've even punched. You haven't touched a goddamn thing. Silky
hands.
ass,
Look at my hands.
like a woman. It's like a woman's touch. Andy, look at how cute. Your hands are so smooth and tiny. And everything's like cute on it and stuff. No wear and tear.
Watch this now.
But I could look at your face and know too.
See that?
I could look at your face. I could look at your ears. I could know if you've been in battles or not.
You know,
you don't got cauliflower ear? Let's go
Coach
then.
K would say he would grab a hand and he'd say, "You hold up one finger." Now, you want to be an individual? This is you. You want to maybe two fingers, whatever. Now make a fist. Now this is all five of us together. Okay,
that was badass.
I'm ready to run through a wall right now when he says stuff like that.
Some people say that they can look at your ankles and know if you're an athlete.
Okay, well, I mean, honestly, I have athletic ankles, dude. No, you know I do.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Those are athletic ankles.
You know, your legs are kind of pretty big.
Pretty big, dude.
For
'Cause
whatever.
I spent a lot of times on the ice and stuff.
No, yeah, but you're not
and
really
hiking
working. You're pushing pucks here and there, and you're yelling at the kid. Not yelling at the kid, but you're talking to the kids. You're not spinning off of things and doing first three steps.
Timeout, though.
Or are you?
Yeah, I was. You know, I'm a little older now.
Okay.
But like for like the first 10, 15 years, jumping drills.
Spin around.
We're always missing somebody, Cam. Somebody's hurt.
I see you. Okay.
Okay, so I'm on a line for a full practice.
Your legs look pretty good.
Yeah, thank you.
Especially when they're tan.
Yeah, oh yeah.
If I looked at your legs, I'm like, wow, then I look at the rest of your body,
He's a professional athlete.
I'm like, oh, he ran here and there. And then I look at the rest, I'm like,
You ever seen Tarasenko's legs?
yeah, they're big.
He's got a big lower half.
Yeah.
Like Sidney Crosby does too.
Yeah, a lot of hockey players do. See Mitchie Marnie do the gritty?
Oh, he did the gritty. Listen, I'm not going to chirp Mitchie for that because
I hate the gritty.
Because Matt Martin, I want to get him on one of these times. Actually, I like Matty Martin.
I like him too.
Good dude.
He'd come on.
His wife is the one that posted that video of Mitchie Marnie doing the gritty. Which, I mean, listen. Everything I think about Mitchie Marnie, in reality, when I see him, it's exactly who I think he is.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
You know what I mean?
You're 100%.
He's exactly who I think he is. I think the guys all like him.
Happy and then
just,
would I do the gritty? No, because I think the gritty is so fucking overused, and like it started with the football players, and like the NFL guys are doing it now. Now the hockey guys are doing it. Like no, let them have that.
At your wedding?
How about you do your own thing? You're a hockey player.
Now listen, I might do it at like my senior homecoming or something. Homecoming.
The grit. The point is the gritty's over with.
Like when
it's like doing the Soldier Boy.
Like when I was on the Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
Like when I was on the homecoming court.
So was I.
Okay, were you on the homecoming court?
Turnabout and homecoming.
And prom court.
Didn't go to prom. I was gone.
So they'd call your name and, you'd go through all the students. They'd be like,
you got your date and you go on stage.
I would maybe do the gritty if I was in high school.
Yeah. If it's
my
relevant.
wedding, because I remember the song, and by the way, my anniversary is today, actually. This is coming out on Tuesday. It's my anniversary. Big shout out to my wife, Laurie.
Laurie, what's up, girl?
14 years strong, man.
You guys are a good couple. And
Thank
you're
you.
a good husband.
Thank you.
And daddy.
You've been evaluating.
Oh, I do. Mm-hmm. I evaluate.
How do you evaluate me as a husband and a father?
Great husband, great father. 100,000%. 1,000%. Now, you're gonna have a family meeting and talk about lying and how good it is to lie.
No,
I hope the hell not.
What I'm saying
especially
is,
Chloe right now can't have that. You need to be as transparent as possible with that girl. She's getting older and older and older. And if you aren't like, hey, you have to have that connection when she gets a little bit older, because she's gonna fucking push you away here soon, both of you. And she is, dude.
She won't ever push me away.
She's gonna push both of you away. And she's going to get older. She's start hanging out with older guys. They're going to start picking her up with her car. You just need to be transparent with her. Not, what are you doing? I would say.
Cam, these 16-year-olds, they don't even drive anymore. They don't even get their license when they're 16.
Why?
I don't know. Because when I was 16, I ran to the damn DMV.
Got it first.
I passed it first time.
Damn right, dude. I was driving since 14
None
years
of my friends' parents would let them go in the car with me because my old 1972 Mustang didn't have like seatbelts or anything.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that decision by a parent.
Really? They're like, okay, you can't go in Strick's car though.
I don't mind that decision. Cars scare me when it comes to kids. It
Me
does.
too.
That would be.
Especially out by where you live, because when we'd go to parties like out by you,
I know,
and you're driving through those long highways and stuff like that, like
the rolling hills,
and it's
windy
and it's dark.
Andy, let me tell you something.
And you can go as fast as you want.
We saw the most horrific car crashes ever.
I told you about
on Highway FF. I remember as a kid, it was a 10-mile stretch to go out where we lived. The buses had to go out there to go to even Eureka. The bus had to go out there. We'd get clogged up, and all of a sudden, there'd be a lineup, and you drive by, and there's 5 kids in a tree hanging out from under it, and they're all dead. And there were so many accidents because so many kids lived out that way in the woods, and they have to drive to school, and they would fly on that road. It was so windy, and there would be accident after accident after accident to a point where they had to widen the whole road out because all these kids were dying in car accidents. God, a Highway FF. Look that up if you're from, and you guys know from Eureka, whoever's listening out there, it was horrific. But they widened all, there was no shoulder, man. These kids are fucking flying, looking back, and that was even before text messages, man. Mm-hmm. And they just got in so many accidents. We saw some nasty things, dude. Brutal. Just brutal. And my mom and dad, although we couldn't even afford that house anyway, they were like, you're driving.
The house was nicer in the woods.
Oh, it's nice. My dad built it from scratch.
What do you mean?
Yeah, we got it built.
He literally built it.
No, but we had people build it. Yeah, but he was,
Was he a carpenter?
No, he was a waterproof. He was a waterproofer.
Yeah.
But anyway, my parents did not want me and my brother driving that horrible.
Well, what I'm saying is these kids nowadays, when they turn 16, they don't run to get their license like they used to.
They're stupid.
I told you about the guys that would turn their lights off and drive 100 miles an hour through those dark roads.
So I mean, man, vehicles get you more than anything, dude. I told you I was so pissed at when I was in Nottingham, and I had my Corvette. My cousin Derek got a Corvette, and I always told Derek, who I love, who listens, never get in a car with a dipshit. We always had these dipshits out in Eureka that all had Supras and their fast cars and their shitty fast cars, right? And so anytime you got a car, they want to drive it when you're in it. I go, don't ever do that. Don't ever have somebody drive your vehicle when you're in it because they don't know what they're doing and they're going to gun it and they're going to show off. Don't do that. Don't even get into a car. They're showing their own car off, driving fast. Get me the fuck out of here. I told Derek that. I was in Nottingham driving to Scotland in the bus, and I got a phone call about him getting in an accident on Highway 44 going so fast because he let one of his guys drive his car.
Really?
He could have died. They slid off the road.
Oh.
Fucking flipped it.
Yeah, you got to watch that.
I go, who did it?
You got to watch that.
I go, who's driving him? I was losing my mind, and I knew finally we heard he was okay, and the kid that drove him, I wanted to kill him.
Well,
but he died a year later.
He did? That's not how I expected the story to end. I'm looking at motorcycles.
You're so fucking Andy on a motorcycle.
I think
you couldn't even you're gonna start a motorcycle. I think you're trying to get me fired up. You're not getting a motorcycle.
I mean, you save.
Are you getting a chopper?
Oh,
you would look
I couldn't
cute on
handle
one.
the chopper.
You would look cute on one of those.
I would love a
You're
chopper.
getting a moped, dude. Just say it. You're getting a scooter. It's all good.
I'd get a Vespa in a heartbeat.
They're awesome.
They are cool. I used to want one. I used to want one when I was in college.
Yeah.
I had a buddy who had a Vespa.
Yeah, that's not dangerous.
One time I drove my car through my neighbor's house.
Man, your story is
It's
out. They're out. I think you just try. If you don't have a story that you don't have to make up stuff or exaggerate.
I
on
got
something.
out of my car. The parking brake wouldn't work, and all of a sudden I see my car rolling down the hill through my neighbor's yard. It goes right into the kitchen.
How much did that cost your parents?
It was like insurance paid for all of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty hardcore.
Insurance paid for all of it. Speaking of porn, I borrowed a VCR from my neighbor's house, his house, where the car went right through it. And he let me borrow his VCR for something. And back in the day, remember you had to have a VCR to watch?
Oh, hell yeah.
And he had a porn that was in the VCR when he let me borrow it.
Oh, yeah? Did you keep it?
We didn't know if we should tell. I didn't want to embarrass the kid,
Man, you're going to... I remember sometimes when I first started getting those VCS porn, and I had that, the 2-in-1 TV in the 90s where the TV was a VCR underneath it,
Yeah,
and my
fancy lad.
And whatever. And I'd find... I had an older brother, older friends. Give me some of that. Give me that. And I'd play it, and I remember my mom walking in on me.
Was it her video or no?
What?
You didn't get to take the video from your parents.
Why would my mom?
Okay, I'm just asking if
you ask.
No, I'm asking if you
questions.
I'd find magazines and shit.
Yeah,
like
my
that.
dad. Yeah. My dad had Playboy. Oh, I stole those right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
But like when your mom walks in on you, and you're watching porn, it's like it sets you back for like years.
Would you steal his like drugs and stuff like that?
My dad's drugs. He didn't do drugs.
Okay, well,
I steal his booze.
Okay,
he didn't do drugs.
No weed, nothing like that.
He does weed now. I go over there and smoke weed with him all the time. But back then he was a drinker. He was alcohol. Didn't do coke. He probably partied when he was in high
Jared
school.
from Subway, the guy who ran the foundation, he'd get the stepdaughters like wasted and shit. It was all a plan. These guys are sick.
They're animals.
They're animals.
Yeah, they're predators.
Predators.
Yeah. They're sexual predators. Just keep an eye out, man. You got 2 girls. You know
Jared
what I mean?
asked the reporter for pictures of her kids.
Oh,
that's
God,
when things
dude.
really
I bet.
just.
And he's obsessed with this Jared thing.
No, I'm not, dude. It
Like, he
scared me.
finds
Like
one
honestly, I slept with one eye open last night, dude.
I wouldn't worry about a Jared breaking in your house. I'd worry about a Jared creeping out your daughter at an event or something.
Ugh.
Or like she's walking down the road or something.
On Instagram or something.
Yeah. It's like all you guys out there. Like I'm taking pictures of my 15-year-old daughter in a bikini and I'm going to post it because I want to get her to get attention. Look at the likes. They're like, all her friends are going to love it. Oh, yeah. It's going to be all her friends. No, it's not. It's going to be 45-year-old men looking at your 16-year-old daughter.
I can't even post a picture of my own kids.
She's getting older to a point where, like, you're going to get, there's creeps looking at that shit. If guys creep your wife out, okay. But once they creep your fucking daughter out, boy, now you got a problem. But my daughter, it's her friends watching. No, it's not. It's 45-year-old.
I will never eat Subway again. The fact that I walk in here today after being traumatized last night, and what's Cam doing? He's eating a Subway.
I know. I have so many like.
You're like Jared from Subway, dude.
Why would you even say that?
Well, I don't mean you're
Jesus
like him,
Christ.
but you're eating a Subway. You're on the Subway diet, dude.
Jeez Louise. You gonna edit that out, or you gonna keep that in there?
No, we gotta edit. We gotta take that out.
You don't take that out.
That's
something Andy would say. Like he's like, you're Jared because
you're eating Subway.
I'm a predator because
no,
I'm eating
you're
Subway.
Not.
I'm eating Subway because it's convenient. It's a convenient thing, and it's open at 10 o'clock, and it's right on the way. So I go in there.
Hey, just do me a favor. Don't ever go. Go to Jersey Mike's or something.
Where's it at? It's in Chesterfield, man. You want me to be late?
No, they got them all over.
No, they don't. They're not everywhere. It's just convenient. I have a 30-minute window. I got to get here. I got to get my Subway, and I got to stop by the gas station.
Jersey Mike's there's something in it that'll cure you from hangovers. When I threw up on the airplane 8 times, and the lady was like helping me, she was very attractive.
You must have been so annoying on that flight.
8 times.
The guy that you drink too much, and now you affect everybody on the plane, Andy. Mm-hmm. Andy couldn't handle his booze. Yoink. Well, now he's puking on the plane because he couldn't handle it.
Well, I was mixing alcohol. I was at Big Walt's house the night before, and he was like, "Hey, Scoops, go get another bottle of Silver Oak." I'm like, "Well, we just had one."
Puking off wine?
Wine and vodka mixed with no food.
Somebody said that your take on
why'd you guys try to create this like take that I was saying that Brady could beat up Wendell Clark?
I didn't say that.
Like that.
You said Código is the most, or tequila is the best thing for you.
It is.
People like texting me like, no, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
I don't even care.
It's the healthiest.
I don't even care.
But like this thing went viral. It's like and everybody's like terrible taking it. Like okay, wait. I never said Brady Kachuk would beat up Wendell Clark.
What'd you say then?
I think we were having like a conversation. Like he's like 6'4".
You're just asking me like, what do you think?
Like the modern day 6'4" athlete who's 240 pounds, whatever. Could he beat up the tough guy from back in the 80s?
You get fucking murdered. Not even close.
And then it's like, who would win the fight, Brady or Wendell?
Somebody had a good one.
And the audio is like made it sound like the way it was edited that I am saying that.
Oh.
You even said at the end. I'm not saying he could beat Wendell.
You did. He did. It did. At the end of the video, it did say.
They just read it.
They just read it.
Welcome to social media, homie.
Welcome to X.
You know, welcome to X. X marks the spot. You know, I agree with that on that, man. No,
it got a lot of play though on
that's
that.
Fine. Cares, man. I got attention. Cares. Mm-hmm. No one knows.
But I'm not an idiot.
No.
They're like, how do you like one person was like, how do you say you've never seen Wendell Clark play without saying it or something like that? It's like, no, I've seen Wendell.
You've seen every.
Come on, dude.
I know every highlight of Wendell Clark you could possibly imagine. It's all good. It worked.
He did throw
threw fucking down the pipe
violently.
Dude.
Now, I do think that there were probably some tougher players back then that would have a hard time with Brady Tkachuk.
Like who?
And listen,
okay, fine.
Throw Brady out.
No, okay. Keep Brady in it. Keep Brady because he's the
Nick Foligno or who's like Milan Lucic.
Lucic is still considered an old school guy.
He's an old school guy.
Keep him out of the way.
So,
well, Brady's a new power forward. And so that's why we compared him to
Correct.
the power forward of the 90s, which is Wendell Clark.
Right.
And there's just no comparison. Now, who else did you say?
I remember Lucic, like his rookie year, like beating up guys like Billy Guerin and stuff like that.
You also got, Billy Guerin.
I'm just saying, but Billy had been in the league, was an established
He's
power
a cruiserweight.
forward.
He's a cruiserweight.
He beat up Barry Jackman, too.
Okay. Jack's got his ass kicked a lot.
Did he?
Got fucked up.
I don't think he got beat up a lot.
He
Jack's would like hold on type,
No, he tried to throw lefts and Hordichuk just fucking busted his ass up. If he fought hardcore cats, man, Jack sometimes
he fought you and he held on to you.
Yeah, and I was young. I didn't even know. I was like kind of nervous because I didn't. He looks. Jack.
You were running
tough.
around. You were acting like a
guys.
fucking.
Acting like what?
Very just.
We won that game too, because the Blues. Were
I didn't
so
like how you were acting. In fact,
I don't care.
In fact, I was very critical of you after the. game.
Did you write a? What'd you say?
I remember to this day.
Yeah, I remember. Remember, Walt came up to me
walking into in the dressing room after the game to do your little media thing. Yeah, hey, what's up, guys? What's up, dudes? It's like,
you're like, what is this?
I'm like, what is
crazy
this guy?
Motherfucker. And then Walt, I remember seeing Walt.
He told you to calm down.
No, Walt. So my first time playing for, in St. Louis, it was awesome. We were here for like 2 days. We partied. I hung out with like girls I knew. I brought them around all the guys. It was awesome. And then we played that game, and I remember Walt had a broken hand. I kind of knew him and I didn't, but he saw me in the hallway. And he goes, "Hey, how you doing, Cam?" Like he was even before, like he was nice to me then.
Mm-hmm.
But he looked at me and he goes, "Don't do anything stupid tonight.
Yeah.
Don't run around.
Yes.
Don't fucking just
go." You didn't listen.
He
to
goes,
him
"Go, just
at
go
all.
play." And I go, "Yeah, okay." And Eric Weinrich, with his goofy ass yellow visor, had the puck, and I fucked him up. First shift. Then the second shift,
Below the goal line,
then the third shift, and then that's when Aaron Downey came after me. I go, "Let's go!" And he drops his gloves.
Trying to find Aaron Downey. Anybody knows where he's at?
Yeah, get him on.
Know,
He's a
man.
great dude.
Great dude. Weinrich was a cool ass dude, man. Veteran guy, played a long time. He was when you're talking about when you played against him. That was like
his later years,
the end of the road for him.
He had that yellow visor on because of concussions.
Because of concussions,
I know, but it looked goofy.
Yeah, but it was because of.
I know,
and I don't even know that. Do those things even work?
I don't know, Andy.
Okay, how do you feel after using the yellow visor versus the clear visor?
I don't know.
No different.
No. Here's your wrong.
Because
wait.
because like Perron, a lot of those guys wore the tinted visor.
Yeah, because
Andy Mack did.
It's everybody's different. Andy
Steiner did.
Everybody's different. So when you get rocked with a concussion like that, though, sometimes when I had weird like headaches where I was fighting a lot,
It's the light.
if I'm light fucks me up, and then like if I'm driving in a car in a wooded area and the trees are going by me really fast, I'd be like, like they're hitting me in the
Really?
head. Yes.
Even today,
Sometimes, Andy.
like when you feel like the bottom of the car is falling out and stuff like that.
It's been pretty good recently, but sometimes
A lot of plane crashes recently. I'm reading about. Dude.
there's a couple here and there.
All these private planes.
They're
like,
little. No,
these
they're seen the
single engines.
Yes, those are. You're confusing a G5 private jet that's
Right.
worth $30-50 million to a $2 million Cessna. There's a big difference, man. There's a big
With like
difference.
propellers. In
Propellers, and there's 2 people on it instead of 15 people
Right.
with 2 pilots and a crew.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a big. Those things, they crash all the time
Why is that?
because
Are you just risking your life going in those?
well,
damn
they're
things?
light. Their engine's not that big. A lot of them are a little bit older.
It's easy to have mechanical issues.
and they're
in those
cheap,
things, man.
so abundant people that just get their
How
license.
far can you travel in those?
You could travel from, 600
Not
miles
from,
maybe.
Not from California to New York.
No, they're not commercial jets,
Yeah.
so they're cheap. So they're like buying a boat,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're in Alaska. So there's a lot of them everywhere. The only way you can get to point A to point B in certain places is a little Cessna. So you got guys that aren't professional pilots that have their license. I don't know what you consider professional, but they don't have that many hours under their belt, and they fly these things
You
all the
have
time.
to have a certain number of hours to fly by yourself.
I want a guy that has 70,000 hours. Not the 22-year-old
No.
that got one that's just learning.
I want the guy with 70,000 hours, and then I want the second pilot to have 80,000.
Yeah, no shit.
I need two pilots.
No
I've been on
doubt.
private planes before with Big Walt, actually, with just one pilot.
It's a small
I didn't
plane.
like that.
It's a smaller plane.
Like coaching youth hockey, one
It's a
of
smaller
the
plane.
dads had a plane.
Yeah. It was a small one.
Yeah, but like not a $2 million
Yeah,
plane.
but if you have one pilot, that's a small plane.
No, when he flies with his wife, he always has two. When she doesn't go on the plane, he would just have one.
Okay, what if,
It wasn't because of the size of the plane. They had another seat for the
okay.
pilot up there.
Yeah, I don't like that.
He would just choose to have one pilot
I
sometimes.
don't like that.
I don't like it either.
I don't like that. Sorry.
I need two pilots. Hey, before we get to Bruce Cassidy, Butch.
Butchie.
Great conversation coming up. Tarasenko finally signs. Took a long time, but he eventually lands in Ottawa, and that was the thought that I had all along, Cam, was that he would land in Ottawa. Detroit would end up trading for DeBrincat, and that would open the door for Vladdy to sign in Ottawa, and that's kind of how it played out. Information was kind of coming in pretty fluidly. And originally, there was some confusion as to which team was offering what. So I was originally told that Carolina's offer was way higher than it was.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to put a correction on there.
I think I got like 1 million
They
views.
they actually Carolina offered like less than $4 million. Now, I heard Florida also came in with an offer for Tarasenko, even less than what Carolina offered. So I don't want to throw a number out there because I don't know. It could be 3.5, could be 2.5, could be $2 million, Cam.
Ooh.
Obviously they don't have any money. Now let me ask you this: would you just bet on yourself and go to Florida for $2 million, 2.5, or would you say, you know what? No, I gotta go to where I'm not leaving $3 million on the table. I'm going to go to Ottawa. I'm going to move my family to Ottawa for 1 year at 5. Yeah.
I would go to Ottawa for 1 year at 5 and bet on myself with more money.
Okay.
Even on a worse
Yeah.
team where I'm going to get more ice time.
I'd probably
and be
do the
man.
same thing. I'd probably do the same
Hey,
thing.
Florida seems enticing. Don't get me wrong.
Although I don't know how much worse Ottawa is. I mean, you can make the case that maybe
might be
Ottawa's
okay.
worse, but in terms of their collection of forwards, they're still pretty heavy.
It might be okay.
Up top.
Yep.
We'll see if Tarasenko. Last year I think they had Giroux playing with Brady and Stützle. Now I would think that the conversation to get Vladdy to sign there is like, hey, you can come here and play with Stützle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
And Brady,
and Brady for sure. But I mean, is he going to replace Giroux? Are they going to move Giroux down? Is Vladdy going to even be on the number one power play? I don't know.
Okay, he could play with Giroux too, or whatever. You could.
I got you. And you got Josh Norris. You got a bunch of guys
you're
like,
deep. I like them.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for them.
Mm-hmm.
We got Pierre Dorian on.
Yeah.
We got Brady on.
Oh, man,
We've
I
had
love Ottawa.
fucking
I've been saying that
DJ
for a couple
Smith.
of years.
Like,
It's like my
guys.
favorite team in the league. I
I
want to
like
get
them.
that Stützle on eventually too, man. And listen, eventually they are going to turn the corner and they're going to be good. Vladdy could have gone to San Jose, on a 1-year deal at $6 million.
Oh, really?
But, obviously we all know that San Jose, it's very unlikely, if not very probable,
They're not
that
gonna be
they're
very
not
good.
making the playoffs.
Yeah. Ottawa has a chance.
So then he would get traded again at the deadline. And, if Ottawa all of a sudden doesn't meet expectations, who knows? I mean, maybe they don't. Maybe they have to end up firing their coach. Maybe the season doesn't go the way that they want it to go. Maybe Vladdy does end up getting moved at the deadline
They
if
need to do
Ottawa
something.
falls out
Ottawa
of it.
needs to figure something out. They need to take the next step. 100.
Yeah.
Remember how cool they were in the mid 2006, 7, 8, 9? God, they were fun. They had Alfredson, Spezza, Heatley, Chrissy Boy Neal, fucking Big Brian McGrattan, badass guys. Ray Emery. Like, they were a fun dude. I remember playing there, and the place was so packed. It sucked getting to where the rink is. 'Cause it's way out in the middle of nowhere. Where we stayed was kind of in the middle of nowhere by a golf course, but there's nothing to do. So that part was kind of sucked. But when you went in that atmosphere at the time, man, the fans were crazy. Then you look at their lineup, you're like, no wonder. They were loaded, and they were fun, and they had heavyweights, and they had all kinds of fucking
Now, let me
crazy
ask you
guys.
this. Would you have signed in Carolina at 375 or whatever that number is, less
1
than
year?
4 on a 1-year deal versus going to Ottawa at 5?
$1.5 million on the table? No. I'll take that $1.5 million.
Yeah, me too.
Just take the money. Bet on yourself. Although Carolina's pretty damn deep, and they're pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And who knows what would have happened maybe if Svechnikov was okay. Like, they're there. They're right there. They're teetering.
Now, as I reported, though, Ottawa had a multi-year offer on the table in the range of like 3 to 4 years. Just a few weeks ago, that was no longer on the table now.
Funny how that works. Can't drag your feet sometimes, man.
cannot.
You got to go, dude. People are like, what? We got shit to do. Are you or you're not? What?
Although, I don't know. I mean, I would think that Vladdy would want the term if it was available, but maybe he's like, okay, I don't want to sign long-term in Ottawa. I don't know.
Maybe not. Is that a problem for Canadians right now and Canadian teams? Are they worried in Canada about attracting big-time
I'm getting a
players
lot
to-
of messages
Me
about
too.
that. People are
Me too.
becoming very defensive about that. I feel
Sign.
like with so many players coming from Canada and with the history and the tradition of the Canadian teams, I see this being a short-term trend. I don't know if long-term that NHL players are going to want to avoid playing in Canadian cities.
Well, what are they going to do differently that's going to change the opinion? Because right now it's trending in the opposite direction. So what is Canada going to do to change these players' minds?
Well, I think it really got enhanced, don't you think? It kind of really changed
COVID?
for the worse after COVID,
Well,
right?
why is that, you think?
Well, probably because they're out of their politics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn off.
So that could change.
What's up with that cat from the Kraken? What is he, a Swedish kid?
Well,
And
he was a
what's-
high pick
so
for
what's his name?
Columbus, I believe.
What's his name? And apparently he's very handsome, and he's getting like a
I don't get it.
sexually harassed on the TikTok and whatnot. And his wife came out and kind of made a blog or something about her husband via his looks getting a lot of attention, and she doesn't like it. Like, was that what I'm reading? Like, what happened?
I
dude?
guess, man. I mean, I'm confused. I guess there
I'm
was
confused too.
There was some
What's the guy's name first?
Alexander Wimberg.
Okay.
He was a high pick, I believe, of Columbus. First round, 14th overall back in 2013.
Wow.
So obviously came in with a lot of expectations, plays in Seattle now. I don't know. I guess, people on social media, man, they say crazy shit.
Well, yeah, but what is she specifically talking about to where she had to step up and be like, my husband's a victim. He's getting harassed.
And they've been very supportive of different groups and all-inclusiveness and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know, Cam. But I guess Seattle, the Kraken, took pictures down off of their own social media account.
Oh, yeah?
Because of some of the comments that were being
Yeah, but
made.
what were they like, he's hot?
I don't know, man. I
Well,
didn't
that's a
see-
big question.
I didn't see any of them.
Well, that's the big.
Sometimes, Brody, like on the rundown, like just send me the actual story too, because I'm having trouble
what
like
is it?
finding.
What's the
this.
story about, Brody?
It's just like it says like Winberg wife situation. I looked it up. That's what I read about it.
That's what I did too. I didn't get the full
Hey,
what's she
listen,
mad
I've
about?
said this before, man. Like, and all y'all players out there. First off, if I was a player, I don't know how active I'd be on social media anyway.
Depends on what kind of player I am. If I had a ton of money, I don't need to be on social media.
Hell no.
If I didn't, maybe I do to monetize my name, so after hockey I could make money because I have a big.
But
following.
I tell you what, I'll tell you this too. There's no way in hell my wife would be all over social media and trying to become like, I'm famous too. I'm a big deal too because my husband is a professional athlete, so I need the attention. I'm going to give my opinion on the team. I'm going to give my opinion on the teammates.
Ding, ding,
I'm going to
ding.
give my opinion on the league, and I'm going to be loud on social media. If my wife was loud on social media and I was a professional athlete, I would not like that.
I completely agree.
I would not like that. And I've seen
100,000%
athletes even come through here whose
You're gonna
like,
have-
wives are all over social media. I'm like, do they really like their wives doing that?
No, listen. If I was in a jam, or if something happened, and Kate had to stick up for me via social media, I would really have to be like, wait. What are you saying?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with me first? Oh, a couple girls are flirting with me because I'm handsome and I'm a prog, and you're gonna stick up for me on social media and denounce these girls that think I'm attractive, who you think I'm attractive to. I'm a professional athlete. And you're going to stick up for me like I'm a victim in this situation and say, my husband deserves better. That's fucking embarrassing. Is he getting death threats? Or are they saying he's hot?
But it's not even like...
What is it?
I don't know. I tried to
going
look
on
it
here?
up. I'm not
Brody, what's up with
interested in the story. Sexual harassment.
Good. That means you're sexy. Sexually harass me. You're a dude. Are you kidding? You don't think like if I'm sitting there like, Cam, I love your abs and I love that big old chest you got. You are sexy. I'm like, you're fucking A right. I'm not gonna text you back.
Kate might not like.
Kate's
that.
like, oh, that's stupid. But if Kate's like, I'm gonna say something on
Cam,
social media about that, I'm like, no, you're not.
It's like direct messages and stuff like that too.
Well, tell him to stop. Dude, listen.
Close your messages.
Close your messages. Close your messages.
Yes,
that's a problem.
Listen,
it happens to us.
I read about this, and I'm like, what I gather is like there's been some comments that have crossed the line.
Like what?
Don't know, man.
Your wee-wee should be big. I want your wee-wee. And she's like, how dare her? Just like block the bitch. So now
I don't know if you can say that.
Say what?
Bitch.
Say bitch?
Yeah, the way you just said that.
The point is, it's like
that may have crossed.
No. The point is like, if Kate has to stick up for me on social media, shit is going down. Where I need to protect Cam Strick Podcast, our fucking connection together. I said something so stupid where I'm getting mauled by and Kate, the voice of reason, would come out and say something to defend me. You know what would for me to give that A-OK would have to be catastrophic. Just so you know.
Now, just so you know, when I'm talking about wives and stuff like that, it's not. It doesn't even have to be social media posts that are critical of a team. Even just trying to get attention for yourself and drawing attention to yourself and constantly like tweeting at broadcasters so they mention you on television, shit like that.
Andy, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I'm just like, what is? Hey, are you kidding me? Like, I would be like, don't ever do that again. It's like embarrassing me.
Andy and I have, like we got fans that text into our radio show, that text into, you know how it is, guys. Like it's what we do. We got people that listen to us all the time. And there are some females we love.
23%.
They're so funny and we love them, but they're different. Like they're obsessed with sports, and a lot of them are married, and the husband doesn't give a fuck about sports, but yet she calling into the radio show every fucking day. And I love it. Texting in every single day. On Twitter, chiming in to, John Mozeliak, to Adam Wainwright, to da-da-da-da, to the blues players, to this, to that, to that, to that, da-da-da-da-da. Nonstop obsessive with the radio show and sports. And I'd be like, if I'm their husband, I'd be like, girl, you better calm down. Like, I would hate that. But for us, those are our fans.
Hey, to each their own. I'm happy that my wife is not like a sports fan.
Well, she posed a lot.
Yeah, but she's not a sports fan.
She's not a sports fan.
She's not like a jersey wearer. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
She's not focusing on the game. Like if they're in
politics.
No,
that's even worse.
I'm just saying, like, she doesn't get caught up in so. Now, when the Blues are on, she'll watch for sure, and she, obviously has a rooting interest for the team and hopes that they do well. But she's not watching like football Sunday, like NFL games. She's just not doing that. She's not watching baseball games, dude.
I don't know if I could handle and that's just me. That's my opinion.
That's
Andy's
too.
Opinion too. I don't know. I don't want my wife
being a diehard sports fan.
No. I don't want to talk sports with her.
And no.
I don't.
I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that. I just been talking.
She's all up on the trade rumors.
I don't want to do it. It's just not my cup of tea. But you know what? There's people, listen, there's a lot of couples out there that meet at sporting events and they love the Bears and they love the Kansas City Chiefs and they love the Rough Riders up in Canada.
Hey, do you know I met my wife at a Rams game?
And there you go. But my point is,
she saw me from a distance.
I doubt that.
She was up in the press box with somebody else who was like taking her to like a box or something. And that's how we met, dude. Like,
she probably looked at you like, who is that handsome guy? Who is that athlete?
We bumped into someone.
Is he one of the scratches on the Rams? Did she think that you were like a cornerback or something?
Maybe.
Yeah. Because if I look at you, I'm like, if I'm a woman, I'm like, he plays for somebody.
Right.
You know.
Wide receiver.
It's funny though, man. Like, but there's a lot of couples, and I respect the shit out of you, that marry each other because of a common interest.
And they both wear jerseys and
stuff.
They
both wear jerseys, but they love each other. But she's not like, I need to see Petro, and I'm going to text Petro, and no, or like tweet at people and stuff like that. That fucking drive me nuts. I don't even do that. I'm barely on social media. I need to do more.
And listen, I know a lot of women that really are. I mean, I see them, during warm-ups, during Blues games and stuff like that. They're down there. They're cool as shit.
We have a lot of fans that do all that stuff.
And it's great.
We don't want to chirp them, but I just couldn't handle it.
Everybody, exactly. To each their own, man.
Yeah, man. We do it.
Those fans are very important. You need those fans.
Of course. So, I don't know what the situation with this cat and his wife. But again, it has to be, if my wife is going to go on social media to stick up for
I just wouldn't post stuff on social media.
I need to be
on that specific platform if it's creating problems for you.
It's just like, oh, that's your problem, that a couple girls think you're hot and they're like, fucking ignore them.
It may not be just girls.
Well, what is it?
I don't know what it is.
Did you find anything anymore on that, Brody?
If you read an article, that's what it is. I've read 3 articles now.
Yeah, nothing. Then it must not be that big of a deal.
I want to give a shout out to Blackhawks Nation about Rocky Wirtz, man.
Yeah.
This guy truly has had such an impact on that franchise and that organization to take that franchise to what it is today versus what it was before in terms of the relationship that the team has with its fan base, Cam. I mean, do you know, for years and years and years, when I grew up, and obviously I didn't grow up in Chicago, but those games were not on television in the home market.
I remember playing there and they weren't.
Once Rocky took over after his dad passed away, dude, he put the games on television. They were able to obviously bring in, generational talent and have a lot of team success. And, I know things obviously got out of hand with the Kyle Beach situation, and a lot of people have their opinions on that. But, from what I understand, he had like a medical issue, and it happened very, very quickly, man. So, anyway, I know people in St. Louis, and I know other people that are affiliated with ownership groups, that are part of ownership groups here and elsewhere, that did a lot of business with him and a lot of dealings with him outside of just the NHL, who have always spoke so highly of him, man. So
he did a good job.
So we're thinking about everybody there who was close to him, especially if you weren't
old.
prepared for something like this.
Yeah, that's a tough one. He did a good job of reinventing that organization.
I think I read that the Wirtz family, that business, is buying the Chicago Steel in the USHL.
Cool.
Yeah. So I mean, they're invested in hockey.
Yeah, I get that. That's cool. Yeah. I don't know him that well, but he had a great turnaround in 2007, man. I remember playing there. There's fucking 10,000 people there, and I remember playing there. There's 22,000 people there. Yeah. But he did a pretty damn good job.
Best place to play in the league, maybe, when it's a packed house.
You're damn right, Andy. I would say it. The national anthem, to the atmosphere, to the city, to the
I remember one time getting shit from somebody with the Blues because years ago, long before I was working on television, I was up there, and I went to a Blackhawks Sabres game, and the next night the Blackhawks were playing the Blues in a back-to-back. So I was in town, went to the game against the Sabres, and I put on Twitter, I said, this is the best in-game entertainment in the league that I'd ever been to.
Did you get patched pretty good?
Not by the people on Twitter, but I think some people with the Blues didn't like that I said that.
What year was that?
That would have been like 2010, 2009.
Well, yeah. You were right.
I was right.
No, you were right,
yeah.
Andy. You know I chirp you, but you're right.
I've been to Stanley Cup Final games there, too, when they played the Flyers in 2010. It was amazing atmosphere.
Dude, even playing a regular season game there. I played there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it makes you emotional.
Yeah, when the national anthem's going.
Yes, even like in the
crowds cheering.
An October game, that means nothing.
No, I will say this: even though when Rocky's dad owned the Blackhawks, I know the games weren't on television. Yeah. The Blackhawks were a big deal back in the Dennis Savard days and Steve Larmer and Ed 90s. Belfour. And,
but then they went to shit, just like the Blues did at the same time.
In the 90s, they went to shit. Or early 2000s, they went to shit.
Like
and late 90s, yeah.
Yeah, but they were still entertaining in late 90s, weren't they?
Yeah, but they still had, like, the old Chicago Stadium, having to walk up the steps to get on the ice, and, having the national anthem going and everyone cheering and screaming. Awesome. I mean, that's a great tradition they have there.
They did. But then they went to shit, and then they figured it out. When they took Jonathan Toews and the Blues took Eric Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And then we gave Eric a little setback.
Matt Murray going on long-term injury with the Maple Leafs. This is a interesting one, too. I mean, I don't even know if he's hurt or if he's not hurt, or they're just putting him on long-term injury. They're like, hey, you're going on long-term injury.
Okie dokie.
You're still going to get paid, but just in case you didn't know, you're hurt.
You're hurt. I'm fine. No.
No, you're hurt.
No, but I could do everything.
No, you're hurt.
Okay.
We need the cap space.
We need the cap space.
Hey, a couple things real quick, though. And we'll move on. Yeah, the long-term injury, it is what it is. Is a cap circumvention? Probably. But they're not the first ones to do it. I mean, you see these guys are hurt all the time, then they come back in the playoffs, and that's cap circumvention.
We've seen that
too.
plenty of times.
So,
and rightfully so. Coochie
Yeah.
to Mark Stone
Yeah.
to blah, 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 blah.
Let me just throw this out there. Expect some news, I think, relatively soon in regards to the completed investigation from the league in that 2018 Canada World Junior situation.
Oh.
And I'm hearing significant suspensions are likely coming down.
Oh,
5 players.
Really? That's
I'm hearing 5 players.
the girl.
I've been told the names of the players. I'm not going to say that yet. But I'm hearing 5 players. I would just expect some news to come down. But I'm hearing significant suspensions are likely going to be handed down. And amongst the 5 players, I mean, there's some bigger names.
I know.
You know?
Pee Wee Herman died.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think he was a sicko,
Did he just
too.
die, Brody?
I
Pee Wee
think-
Herman?
Well, you have the news. Is this breaking
popped
news?
up on my phone.
Does someone just did you know him personally?
No.
Oh.
But I thought he was pretty good in Blow.
Is that the name of the movie?
Yeah.
Isn't he kind of a sicko?
No, he was a drug dealer.
Pee Wee Herman?
He beat his dick off in a porn video.
Oh, in a movie theater.
Yeah, whatever.
He wasn't
Isn't that
he wasn't doing anything
No.
weird.
I don't think so.
I think Elmo might have been.
Elmo?
Yeah.
The character Elmo?
Yeah.
Like the guy that played
yeah,
him?
yeah. I think he may have gotten involved.
Yeah,
in
well,
some
I mean,
shit.
you're around kids all the time, and you're like, you know, it's just like there's red flags everywhere. But Pee Wee Herman beating his dick off in a movie theater that's watching porn. What are you supposed to do in there?
I don't know.
Remember back in the day, you had to go to a fucking movie theater to see porn?
Is that right?
Yeah.
They would have them in movie
Yes,
theaters?
Yes.
I've never seen porn in a movie theater.
Well, no, Andy, that's the 70s and shit.
Oh, well, that's not when it happened with Pee Wee Herman in the 70s.
80s, 70s, 80s,
I think well after that,
the
Ken.
90s?
Oh, yeah. Closer to
Maybe
2000s.
the 90s, they still did it in places too.
Closer to 2000s.
Yeah, well, that makes sense because, yeah, I think that's been happening for a while. And then the VHS happened, stuff like that. So pre-VHS, I think it was an abundance of porno in movie theaters.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to go see a porno movie, how are you not going to beat your dick off?
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you think NHL teams need a captain?
Yeah.
You do? You think they should have a captain?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, because I feel like if you don't identify one guy as being a captain, then I don't think you should have a captain. I think if you view your next captain as being a year or 2 away and maybe needs a little more time to mature, or maybe doesn't need that much on his plate right now, that maybe you can hold off.
I don't mind that. I've seen that with the Devils. I've seen that with the Blues. I don't mind that. But not having a captain just to not have a captain, that was your question.
No, well, obviously if you don't have one, it's because probably you don't identify somebody on the roster that you're ready to
Well, your team's not developed yet.
make him the captain. Like, I look at the Blues, for example, and I know a lot of people suggest that Braden Shen should
I
be
would
the
say.
next captain. I could certainly be on board with that.
Of course.
But from what I hear, I think there's a chance that they don't have a captain.
Okay, then don't.
And maybe they're leaning towards not having a captain.
That's fine. It doesn't bother me, but just give it to Schinner. Give him to Schinner. If you want it, if he wants it and he wants to do a good job at it, give it to him. But if he's like, I don't know, then now you have a problem. So maybe that's the case.
And
don't
maybe,
force the issue.
Maybe they see Robert Thomas as the future captain. Maybe he needs another year or 2. I don't know.
I don't see that.
Maybe they don't.
I like Robert Thomas.
Well, I'm just throwing out some names,
just letting you
right?
know.
As you know, like who you could put in the category as potential candidates.
I get that. I get
you know, like maybe
Well,
Justin Falk is
he's
a
a $64
candidate.
million
You know,
guy.
I don't know, but obviously we'll find out very, very soon. But from what I understand, maybe they don't name a captain.
That's fine. It doesn't bother me. I'd say that there's a piece missing from your organization and your lineup if you don't have a true captain. And I think that's a problem overall.
But if you have a leadership core and a group of leaders
Okay.
Everyone knows who that alpha is inside the room. When he speaks, everyone
if
listens.
he's the alpha, give him the C.
Well, yeah, I don't
Why
know.
would you not give the alpha the C then?
I don't know.
So if that's
Maybe
organic,
maybe there's multiple alphas.
okay, well, who's the... No, that doesn't make
Maybe
sense.
Jordan Binnington's your alpha.
There's one alpha.
Well, maybe he's your alpha.
No, you don't give it to a
You
goalie.
don't. Vancouver did that.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Terrible decision.
Exactly. But if you already know who the alpha is, then you give it to him.
How dumb is it to name the goaltender the captain of the team?
Stupid. They're on their own world, man. They're on their own world. They're not even talking to anybody on the ice. They're not talking to anybody on the bench. They're most of the time goalies sit there with their towel over their head
The backup,
and don't see any. Well, even the starting goalie, don't talk to me. I'm in between periods. I'm thinking about what the fuck I need to do. They
I
don't
see what
even
you're
talk.
saying. In the room, whatever.
I've never played with goalies that talk.
No?
Murray never talked.
No?
Fuck no. When he was playing, he didn't say a word. Manny Legacy didn't say a word. Chris Mason would yell in practice, didn't say a word during the game.
Really?
Who else am I missing? I mean, everybody I play with, they were quiet. Marty doesn't have the C. He doesn't say a damn thing unless we go to dinner. He just does his thing, dude. Don't leave him alone.
Mm-hmm.
They're in a different world. They're in a different position.
Gotcha.
It's completely different.
Okay.
You're going to give him the C? So now he's back there getting peppered, and he's got to come in and give a pump-up speech?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck no.
Okay.
You need a guy that has more control over the game in a physical way. They can go out there and they could figure something out. They could talk to the refs. Who's going to talk to the ref? Is Marty going to go walk?
No.
Come on.
Just skate out of the
It's the
crease.
dumbest thing in the world.
No, I'm with you. You know, Bruce Cassidy, who's coming up,
Yeah.
who obviously has a long history with the Boston Bruins, knows that dressing room very, very well. He thinks Brad Marchand is the next captain of
Then give it to him.
of the Boston Bruins. Give a shout out to Patrice Bergeron. Congratulations, man. Great career. 38 years of age. He's accomplished a ton. You know, I mean, 6, Selke trophies. He was nominated something like 12 years in a row or something like that, which is insane. He is a generational leader, a different type of player that you typically see come around. You just don't see too many guys that can impact the game the way that he did. I wish him all the best, man. And he was a great, great player for a long, long time.
I agree, 100%.
Although my wife did ask me if he died because all the tributes that were on television were very somber and sad. I mean, guys crying, and it was almost like they weren't celebrating his career. They were like crying about him retiring, essentially. You know?
When you anytime somebody dies, you post a picture of them and you keep it up there, and then I can see where that could be like.
She's like,
and then they put
somebody
the timeline of it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
his career.
Yeah, 2000 thing.
Right.
Like he died. No,
Right.
he retired.
No.
With 70 in the bank. He's okay.
Maybe more.
He didn't die. Made 80 in the bank. You don't have to do a goddamn
I think
thing.
he made over 90 or something.
And he'll be a coach or a GM.
Will not be
Or-
a coach.
Okay. He'll be a GM or whatever he wants to be.
He'll be whatever he wants to be.
Well, then he could be a coach.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of work.
Well, I wouldn't do it. I want to be the president.
I want to be the president.
Actually, you know what? I want to sit on my fucking cabin and watch my kids
So do
grow
I.
up and shoot off fireworks and smoke cigars.
Fireworks.
On my dock, watching the sun come down on my beautiful lake.
Mm-hmm. Would you ever get bored, though?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I would, too.
Eventually, I would.
Mm-hmm.
Not if my kids are rocking and rolling.
Mhm.
You think you'd be bored? When Ty's toe dragging motherfuckers everywhere, are you out of your mind? You would be. No. You'd be obsessed with him. Chloe's kicking ass in soccer. Ivy's doing it. She's a singer now. You want
singer now.
whatever. You want to be around your family. You have 70 million in the bank.
I know.
You'll do camp, Sandy. You would have a piece of this. You would still go on podcasts. You would have your own podcast. You would do whatever you want to do. You know what you wouldn't do? You wouldn't have a boss.
Oh.
You wouldn't want anybody above you for anything. My opinion. If you had that much, I just want to live the easiest, most fun, relaxing life I can. I have enough money. I have enough clout. I don't need to be a GM of a team to get attention and do. I could enjoy myself.
But I could be a president where you just kind of come and go as you please.
You're there every day. I just think if I had that much money, I wouldn't want any stress at all. I just wouldn't want any stress. I don't need my name to get bigger. I don't need anything. I just want my family to be right and be there and go on trips and make it so nice for all the players, all the kids on the team. Like, I'm ticking that. I got the bus. We got our own bus. It's our bus. The kids get on. It's all catered. No, we're taking care of you. That's the kind of stuff I'd like to do.
Really?
Yeah. I got enough money.
I'd be like, you guys all travel on your own to get there,
I'd be like,
and we'll see you. I'm not taking all
fuck
that. I'm not taking everybody on a bus. You ever been on a bus with a bunch of kids?
I'm not going on it. I ain't going on it. They have their own bus. I'll fly my jet up there. I'll do whatever. I'll find a way to see you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Travel around, watch your kid dominate. Yeah, I could do that.
I could do that.
I'll tell you what I wouldn't do.
A lot of athletes do that, and
I
then
tell you
when
what I
their
wouldn't
kids get older, then they.
I know, like Walt.
Mhm.
But even Walt right now, and all the respect for him, I wouldn't want to go scout anybody.
He loves it.
If he loves it, he loves it. I wouldn't. I don't want to be away. I don't want to travel to go watch a kid. I get why he would, but I'd rather do something else. I'd rather be on my horse. And my land.
I don't see you on a horse.
Why would you?
I do not see you on the horse.
Why do
I'm envisioning you retired. I just don't see you on the horse.
Why would you think I'm lying about that?
What kind of
Like,
horse?
Andy thinks everybody's like him. Like, I'm not like you. We're complete opposite in everything, dude. I want to be around everybody. I want to show. Look at me. I'm Andy. I'm gonna GM this team, and I'm here, and I'm doing press. No, I'll be a recluse, baby. I'm done. I'll do my podcast, so I have my fan base still, so they see me. But I'm in my own world. I'd have bonfires every night. I'd take my horses out with my lovely wife and go to a picnic looking over the view that we have on our mountainside.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah. I'd teach my kids how to shoot guns. I'd learn this. I'd learn that. That's what I'd do, man.
Yeah.
Like I would. I don't want to be caught up at the rink all fucking day. I don't. I want to do whatever I want to do. And it ain't being under somebody's helm like, hey, you can. I don't like wait. No, what? I got $70 million. Get out of my face. I'll do whatever I want.
What kind of horses are those that like can go in water? You know that like
a lot of horses can go in
you can
water.
horseback through water.
There's a lot of horses. I don't know the names of horses. Don't get me wrong. A black stallion would be pretty gosh dang cool. Mm-hmm. Like I want shit kicking. I want an all black, scary.
Do you want an all white horse?
An all white and an all black. Mm-hmm. Kate's the all white. I got the shit kicker. I would dress like a fucking badass on that thing, dude. Mm-hmm. All black. I'd dress all black on that thing with a black awesome ass cowboy hat, like rip off of Yellowstone, and I'd cruise around. I'd have thousands of acres and just like go fucking cruise, go hunt, learn how to hunt.
Well, when I win the Powerball, I may have it.
Yeah, some broad won it.
Oh, did she come forward?
Bucks. Yeah.
She did?
Something like that, yeah.
No,
California.
that was a fake video.
Was that fake?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That came out. That was fake.
That was fake. The girl like crying.
You fell for it.
Well, there's a lot of videos.
It's in L.A. She's like a television.
Yeah, but so what if I fell for that? That was like a quick little thing. Okay, because that wasn't her.
You think she ran to the convenience store and be like, "Oh my God, yes, it's me"?
No, she's like, "I did win, and here's what it is." And then they're filming her, and she's like, "I don't want to be on camera." Like, okay, that's fake. Okay, fine. That doesn't change anything.
Yeah, you got
somebody won.
You got clucked.
Yeah, but okay.
Or
didn't change
Is it clucked or cucked?
You got cucked. I didn't get cucked.
All right, we got to get to Cassidy.
Let's
Butchie, brought to you by the Illinois Recovery Centers, Cam.
Yeah, man.
The new premier inpatient substance abuse facility in Swansea, Illinois. It's just outside of St. Louis, but doesn't matter where you are in the world, there is a bed waiting for you, man. People are coming from all over to go to the Illinois Recovery Center. So when it comes to disease of addiction, Cam, getting help should not be as difficult as it currently is.
It is. And you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that you know that I mean, your cousin, you're this, you're that. There's so many people in your family, and you might not even know, they're there, trust me.
Right.
This place is fantastic. Chris Pondoff, Eric Conley.
Chrissy.
They do a goddamn good job. They've been in the game. They've been through hell and back. They know how the fuck it works and how hard it is. That's why they set this thing up. It's the real deal. Illinois Recovery Center in Swansea, Illinois. I'm telling you guys this. You know what I know what I'm talking about.
This wasn't a money-making venture.
No.
This was a venture to help people, man, because they've
through
been there.
hell.
They know exactly what it's like.
Check it out. All y'all.
The Illinois Recovery Center delivers a comprehensive system of care that welcomes both the individual struggling Cam as well as the family.
Oh, dude, you're affecting everybody in your life. You don't even know it. You're affecting everybody's talking about you. They're worried about you. It affects them. You're aging your family, your wife, your kids, your mom, your dad. You don't even know it.
Write down this phone number. You have a pen?
What do I need a pen
I'm
for?
just
I
saying.
know the phone number.
Write down the phone number. 888-743-0971. 888-743-0971. If you or someone you know wants to learn about the Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-743-0971. You can email them info@illinoisrecoverycenter.com. That's info@illinoisrecoverycenter.com. And I'll tell you this, man, DMs are always open. If you want us to get you in direct contact with Chrissy or Eric, we can certainly
DM
help
me,
you out
guys.
with that. Message
And
me.
all my stuff, and I'll get back to you, and I'll talk to you too.
Yes.
Because I've been doing this a lot
Yeah.
lately. Actually, to a point where I can't. It's kind of hard to keep up a little bit.
Really?
But I'll try to get back to you.
Yeah, if Cam's not getting back to you, just reach out
Ask
to me.
Andy about drug addiction. He'll roll break. Hey, we'll just watch more hockey there. What? No, it's not how it works. It's not how it works. Good God.
Like the people-
Go out to dinner
Yeah,
and have a good time. What?
The people that would tell you back in the day, just stop.
Cam, how would you stop? Oh, okay. And have a seizure? Oh, okay.
Just stop doing it.
Stop. Oh, and have a seizure while I'm driving? Oh, okay. That's how it works. Just so you know.
Message me.
Message Andy. He'll really put you in the right direction. If you're going to message Andy and he's going to give you the number, then that's fine. But if you're going to message Andy for advice, it's like asking somebody that's never flown a plane about how to fly. You don't know.
It's not true.
And it's good that you don't know.
Yeah, I know.
And if you did know, I'd be hesitant to
I
even
could
team
still
up with you,
help them,
just so
though.
you know.
I could still help
If you're an addict, I'd be hesitant to team up with you.
Really?
100,000%. Just so you know.
Okay.
And you know what? Rightfully so.
Yeah.
You can't trust addicts.
No, I know.
You have to help them
I know.
because they are in their own world, brother.
Mhm.
They are in their own fucking world.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, man, we are being very serious. Listen, call them.
Yeah.
Even if
Who's
you
not
need
serious?
to talk. If you want to talk to somebody, 888-743-0971. First Form and firstform.com. Cam, I've never felt better.
You look good, man.
Thank you. There are so many different ways to allow First Form into your life, Cam. Name a couple.
Well, you can go to their app and they'll teach you how to work out and to be healthy. I mean, isn't that what you want? Don't you want somebody to actually tell you what to do?
Yeah, name another.
I mean, well, they have unbelievable health items that you could eat all day. And you could eat everything First Form and get through the day.
Oh, my God.
You'll get caught up in
If
a
you
week.
were stranded on an island and
With
all
all
you
First
had
Form,
was First Form.
I would be the most cut up, fucking energetic son of a bitch you've ever met in your life. I wish I could just go to an
How would
island.
you get the attention? Would you have to write in sand, like SOS?
No, because that's going to go away.
What does SOS stand
via
for
wind.
again?
Don't know, but
Oh, my, you don't? Oh, my God. I thought you were going to chirp me for not remembering.
no, I forgot.
Save our souls.
Maybe.
Wow.
Brody, that same.
I would
look that
never
up.
have guessed
That's
that.
it. Damn right, Brody. So, look that up real quick. I like this kind of stuff. See, we'll teach you
SOS.
stuff
We
on here
will.
too, by the way.
SOS. I'd put it in sand and like wave to everybody with like First Form bars in my hand.
You try to make a fire, but I think you would try to make something out
Save
there.
our souls or save our ship?
Save our
Save
ship,
our
save our souls.
ship.
Rifle. Awesome. Thank you.
It's like the lighthouse.
Damn right.
We'll
My house
save
is
your
too.
ship.
They will. They will.
The apparel. You know, I've got my wife now wearing the apparel.
Good. Looks sexy
Yes.
on women.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, look at me right now. That's all
you,
I have.
Makes you horny, dude.
Protein? Fuck yeah.
No, the apparel.
Yeah, the apparel will make you horny if they look good in it. Listen, optics make you horny. Like if a girl looks good in something, like you're automatically like, Jesus. That's why it's so easy. If a girl's good looking, man, like you just get the attention.
I stole that line from Cam, by the way.
What?
I'm just, it makes you horny. I'm
does.
just, you know.
Well, the protein
I was
actually does.
asking. Oh, protein does.
Yes, protein
Like
makes
steak?
you horny. Yeah, yeah. Or protein.
What's the
shakes.
healthiest steak?
One that's lean. I would say a steak that doesn't have much marbling. So a steak that doesn't taste
A
as
lot of my
fatty.
steaks have marbling.
You don't eat steak. Why do you lie to people?
I'm just
man?
telling you.
Like Andy doesn't know what he is, right? I'm a vegan, but I don't want to talk about it because maybe people will make fun of me. You know, my religion, I don't want to talk about it because maybe something. No, like accept it, dude. That's you. Like quit hiding from it.
Oh, my wife just sent me a picture of the night we got engaged.
Let me see.
It was a bad picture. We were out in the
Let me
sun
see.
all day long, dude, and she didn't know I was going to do this. So,
Well, that's cute as
know.
fuck, dude. Post that.
so she didn't know.
No, Andy, post that. That's adorable. 100%.
So
That's a good picture.
You know,
Now, the ones of like the Ivy and Ty that are literally eating ice cream, and there's 50 pictures of them eating ice. Like, delete a couple of those. No big
Okay.
deal.
oh, they have
But the pictures of you and her,
they
like,
have
that's awesome.
they have the kiddos version too at First Form. You can get stuff
Yeah,
like
no, I
that
know.
for the kids.
First one's got good
I
stuff,
give my
baby.
kids the vitamins. You can get apparel for kids.
Beef stick, 20
Beef
grams
sticks,
of
20
protein.
grams of protein.
Get a boner right off the bat, baby.
Okay,
you eat that
that
motherfucker.
is not, that's
No,
false,
you want
false
no.
advertising.
You'll want in a good way. You'll want to, you'll want to like grab the fuck. You want to do things.
Yes.
You want to like work
It's
out.
false advertising.
You want to make love. You want to get things done. You have energy. You have good, healthy energy.
Yeah.
When you're not horny, man, you're down and out, brother. You're down and out, baby.
Mm,
When you're horny, you're like, oh, I feel like a man.
really?
Yes.
That's how you.
Unless you're Jared.
Oh my God! I
I'm
shouldn't
just-
even brought. I watched the movie last night.
See, Andy watches one movie in 3 months, and he's talks about it. A movie. It's not even like a document. It's a movie.
No, it's not.
So it's like that important.
No, it's a documentary.
Yeah, those are fine. Fuck
So-
his ass, Jared.
Test on roofing, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Again, real quick though, firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Use our link.
Yeah.
Use our link, firstform.com/Cam and Strick, and do it today. And say hi to First Form Nick, will you?
Hey, you just got a little puppy dog.
I
Him
know.
and his lovely wife.
I know. I
Cute,
saw
cute,
that.
cute, cute.
They
I think
are
it's the
they
same
are
puppy
a
that you
great-
got.
No,
I think they
got
did
a
the same-
Cavapoo, I think.
Oh, really? Cavapoo? But it's the same kind of thing.
I got a great picture of Blay. I'm going to post it later on
Cool.
today. Yeah.
He'll get a lot of likes.
He does get a lot of likes.
Yeah, he's a cute dog, man.
Test on roofing, man. The Nano Shield is a breakthrough, Cam. It's a breakthrough technology
Fuck yeah, it is.
in the coatings market. They spray it all over your roof, makes your house cooler.
Yeah. Oh my
like
God.
by dozens of degrees.
It's so hot in Missouri right now.
It's gonna cool off here
God,
today in the
it's
next few
brutal.
days.
And it just tears everything up. Now there's headwinds coming left and right. Trees are falling on roofs. Hail's coming through. It's brutal, man.
Yeah,
Roofs are getting fucked up.
right.
You got to call these cats. They are the real deal. They're trusted everywhere. Good, easy to talk to. Brett has a good crew that trusts him.
Yes.
They got the insurance companies in their back pocket. There's a reason for that. These guys work their ass off.
Ass off.
They work their fucking blue collar hardcore, and they do a gosh dang good job. Give them a call.
Gosh dang. Average energy savings when you use Nano Shield is 40%
Dude, that's a big deal.
in HVAC reduction.
It's a big deal, homie.
25 to 30 degrees in top floor temperature reduction. That's a lot, dude. 25 to 30 degrees.
Save you a lot of money.
Nano Shield, baby. I love it. Check it out online, testonroofing.com. Talk about Brett Tesson real quick.
Fucking badass son of a bitch. He looks like a hockey player.
Shit kicker.
Yeah. He looks like a shit kicking son of a bitch. But he's the nicest guy in the world.
Stay at home D-man.
Like if I saw him in warm-ups with no bucket on and I'm rolling around and I see him, I'm like, oh, who'd they call up? Like I got to do something tonight.
Who'd they call up? Tesson Roofing. Buddy.
Yeah, they call up this big Brett Tesson cat and
Hey.
I got to have to fucking go him.
They're doing like Fortune 500 companies, like major businesses with this nano
Why is
tech.
that, you think? Why do you think that is? You got Fortune 500 companies.
'Cause they're
hiring
smart.
it. Exactly.
They're smart.
Figure it out.
Because they're smart. Nano Shield. Cam, at Bellman Automotive, you get what?
Swinging dicks. Swinging Jared dicks.
Oh, my God.
Fuck
okay.
that.
Okay.
No, fuck
no.
that.
Oh, my
You
God.
started it. Fucking Jared coming out, swinging his dick around. The fuck out of here. Good God.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't say that again.
Whatever.
It's making me uncomfortable.
You started it.
But at Bellman Automotive, you do get the best selection of, and best price, too,
Gosh dang right.
of the Buick and the GMC. Say hi to Danny Boy
Hey, Danny.
and Dale.
Excuse me?
Dale.
Who's Dale? Oh, Dale. Oh, what's up, Dale?
And Kenny.
Kenny. How are you, buddy? That's Kenny.
Hey, it's located in Troy, Missouri.
Dang right.
Try.
Try. Fucking try.
Hey, one side of the street, you got the Buick GMC. On the other side, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. There is truly something for everybody.
I got that Gladiator Jeep with like 70
It has like
trims
it
on
has like a bed in the back.
It has a bed in the back, so
Yeah.
it's a Gladiator.
Yes.
It's awesome, dude. I
Right.
sit up high like a Hummer. Fucking
Hey,
hip-
listen,
fucking
we got to
hippies.
get to Bruce Cassidy, man. Butchie, enjoy this conversation. Awesome conversation.
Damn
dude.
right. Butchie.
Butchie,
Badass.
right now on the Cam Strick Podcast. Enjoy, everybody. Hairclub.com, baby.
Oh, you're damn right.
Go to our landing page today, hairclub.com/Cam and Strick. Regrow, restore, and replace that hair.
Don't wait.
Now to the interview.
Hello.
Butchie.
Butchie,
How are you guys?
Are you on the beach right now in Cape Cod? Do you still have the cup with you?
I don't have it with me, but I am about 100 yards from the beach.
I love it. Hey, which part of Cape Cod are you do you live on?
I live in Mashpee. It's New Seabury is the name of the kind of the development. It's got a couple golf courses here. It's kind of a little self-contained area. We got lucky a few years ago. Got a place right on the water. Guy was coming out of the pandemic looking to sell, so we jumped on it. But
there you go.
It's a good spot. It's got they do lots of rentals here too in this area. There's pools. That's how we started here, athletic center. So young kids, and we just like the area. There's actually the Mark Davis golf tournaments here every year. There's a lot of hockey guys up here, so I came up and just love the place.
So listen, I just got back from there.
Oh God, Andy!
I love the Cape.
Now.
It was my first time in the Cape, but you were there with the cup at the same time that we were. But you were like in a much different area. Like I don't think you were that close to where we were at. But
he was trying to find you.
That was the talk of the Cape. There, they were like, "Hey, the cup is here."
It was, George McPhee had it the day before on Martha's Vineyard, which is tougher to get to. Yeah, you got to take a ferry over. But so I had it the next day, but I had it a little more, opened it up to the public a little more. In this area, there's lots of kids around here, had a little dinner. But yeah, where were you up there? Were you in Chatham?
We were in Chatham. But we went over.
Everybody go.
I know it's busy.
It's a tourist spot in an Andy.
But like Big Walt lives in Sandwich. It's like funny. Like not been there before. Like I didn't know. Like I thought one town to the next was like super close, and some of them are. But I don't know. I feel like Mashpee, where you were, is a little distance from Chatham, right?
It is. Yeah. Chatham. We're right over the bridge. You're kind of the first exit. You got to dive down toward. We're on the. I don't know if you picture an arm. We're on the underside of the arm, the Nantucket Sound. So water's a little warmer under here, and there's really no sharks where we are because there's no seals, right? So you get up by Chatham, and that's the corner, like by the elbow. When you start working up, that's where a lot of the shark stuff happens because all the seals are there, lots of rocks. But it's nice over there. It sure is. Lots of little inlets and bays. We looked over there, but. Anyway, we had landed.
No, I like quietness. We need to talk about these sharks first off. I mean, they're closing beaches left and right, Butchie. I mean, it's like I was so terrified of the sharks. My kids are playing in the ocean. I'm like, oh my God, please, can the sharks just stay away? So you're telling me where you're at, there's no sharks. I wish I would have known that in advance. I would have gone to your territory.
Yeah, none, zero. You almost want to see one, right? But you don't. You don't want to see it it's
like a bear. It's like a bear.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to see one when you're standing on your, sort of on the beach, but nothing. It's quiet over here. No whales, no sharks, not a lot of, just jellyfish rolling in every once in a while. I just got to avoid those guys.
Yeah, they'll get you too.
Yeah. We saw the whales once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah, Andy thinks it's a once in a lifetime experience to see whales. Meanwhile, people up in Canada are chirping you like no other. Are you a fisherman? Do you like to boat?
No, I don't own a boat. My 12-year-old guy, Cole, he likes to fish. So I'm guessing that'll be next on the list. But I'm not very handy with it. It can't be that hard, right? I mean,
I don't know. Butchie. You're going out in the ocean now, man. No, yeah, it's difficult to navigate out there.
I can't be. I see like 5-year-old kids like fishing.
Yeah, they grew up doing it, Andy. Yeah. That's why you hired somebody to take you out.
That's right. I always hire somebody, Butchie. That's the way to do it.
That's what I do. I got Captain Ron here. That's his name, Captain Ron. He runs his charter business right around the corner from us, so it's easy. Go out for the morning and it's done. So anyway, that's what everyone tells me. Don't buy a boat, whatever you do. You're just because you can't dock it. Like we can't dock it right in front of our house. You're not allowed to put anything there. You've got to go to the marina. So not that that's far, but you know the drill, right? And now you're starting to, one extra layer. But I imagine at some point I'll get one. But no, I'm a golfer. Love to play. So
hey, can you see the water from your house? Like, are you on the water?
Yeah. No, we're literally. It's called the Bluff where we are. So walking out, it's probably 60 yards to the ocean.
Perfect.
Wow. Yeah, we're right over there's a little bit of seagrass. And we're raised up a little, so we'll never have to worry about erosion. There is some of that around here, some of the different beaches, but not for us. We're good.
This sounds like the perfect place. I mean, no sharks, no erosion. Hey, what's your family situation now? You got a 12-year-old son you just mentioned. So you have 2 kids or 3 kids?
3. My daughter Shannon is here. My oldest is so he spends a lot of his summers in New Hampshire and then back at school. He's doing a semester there. So, but Shannon and Cole live here. It's great for their age group. Like I said, there's tons of kids that age. A lot of the kids work here, starting out, like at the pool, folding towels, etc. So there's stuff for them to do, make a little money, or if not, then it's really safe to pedal around on your bike, whatever you want. Like I said, we redid our backyard. Yeah, we put a pool in, right? They've got the biggest pool in the world, right? 60 yards from us. So we put a pool in because the kids want to have their pool parties. And they don't love the ocean. It's hard, I guess. So anyway, we did that last year. And so we have a nice spot here to entertain. And we do a lot of it in the summer because obviously I'm off. So it's easy. How's
your golf game? And you hanging out with a bunch of there's so many hockey players at golf that are really, really good. Are you good enough to be invited to these big time tournaments like some of the guys? Or are you just like a casual golfer?
No, I like to play. My handicap's about a 5 now. It was a little lower a couple of years ago, but I haven't played a lot this summer. Guess I was busy in June for a good reason. But no, it hasn't been a great summer so far. I have a match tomorrow, a senior club championship, first round match, so I better be on. I gotta find it, but I can hang in there. Yeah, I can hang.
Who are you going up against? Like Ray Bork or something? Yeah. Like who's on the other side there?
No, this guy is his name is Steve Howe. I don't know him that well, but he's done really well. Investment guy. Or no, was he Ernst & Young? I think he was like the CEO, CFO. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but anyway, he's a good dude. Plays in a course out of New York, and he spends some of his summer here. So,
well, take some of his money, Butch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
is he related? Is he related to Gordie Howe? I mean, come on now.
Yeah, that'd be good. But it's funny. I do play with Ray every once in a while. I don't know if you ever play with Ray or Chris, his son, but Chris Bork hits the ball like a mile.
Oh, I'm sure he does. I saw he was at your cup party, right? Was he there? And Cam Neely and a couple guys came back, or maybe not Cam. Who did I see from the Bruins that was at your cup party?
Cam didn't make it over. No. But,
sorry. Listen. I didn't know who was there, man. I'm trying to remember the picture.
You missed it, Andy.
It wasn't Cam. It wasn't Don Sweeney. I swear to God, it was somebody, but it was Ray Bork and somebody else, right?
It was Bobby Orr and Ray Bork. They were here.
Never heard of either one of them.
No.
Yeah, a couple old, and Brian Noonan, who won with the Rangers, 94, is a good friend of mine. He's from South Boston originally, so he was here.
Didn't you coach him back in the day, or did you play?
I did. Yeah. I played with him and then coached him for half a year. He was down in the old eye, and he didn't have a contract that year, so he played in Indianapolis for a while. Then I think it was Arizona that signed him.
That must have been the one season in his life he didn't play for Keenan. Wherever Keenan was, he was. He came here. He played here for the Blues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're right. He played everywhere with him: New York, and Chicago, Vancouver, St. Louis. Am I missing any? Jeez.
I know.
No, he has.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he played. He's one of those guys. Keenan used to be like that. Are you like that as a coach? I know that the flexibility isn't maybe as easy as maybe it used to be, but like when you go to a new team, isn't that hard? Aren't you like, well, can I bring this guy with me? And can I bring that guy with me too?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because last year in Vegas, I hadn't coached any of the. I didn't know the coaching staff. I knew Sean Burke a little bit from Hockey Canada. One of the trainers I played baseball with, imagine that, in Ottawa. When we were kids, so he's and the equipment guy I knew from Providence. So it was a lot of newness. So that kind of proves that theory. Sometimes it's a good question, right? A lot of guys like to have their own guys, but I didn't have any, and kind of worked out. So I guess you never know. And I think as you go through it, there's always certain players I'd love to have with me. And just because I think the biggest reason they like those guys, usually the foot soldiers, that know that we're going to play the right way and sort of, echo your message, practice well, whatever. There's a lot of those guys that I think coaches bring around just for kind of like lead by example type guys.
Oh yeah. They're like the voice, the go between the coach and the and the player, the conduit. Hey, who is more talented, your Vegas team or your Boston team that lost in 2019? Which team had more talent? I know which team won, but which team had more talent?
Well, I it's funny, until we actually won, I probably would have said the Bruins, but we scored so many goals in the playoffs. There's a lot of appreciation for our talent level when I sat back and sort of took it all in at the end of the year. The Bruins had lots. I think the Bruins had maybe more upper end talent, like the Marchand and Berge, sort of those. But throughout the lineup, a guy like William Karlsson, like he's got unbelievable skill. But he's playing behind. I shouldn't say behind, but he's with Eichel and Stevenson down the middle, and Nick Waugh, who we use. So
hey, speaking of Willie Karlsson, God, I'm not gonna lie to you, he was funnier than hell at some of those celebrations after they won. Kind of busting his ass, and the guys had a big kick out of that, man. He was hilarious. I don't know if you saw those or not. They're everywhere.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was there, like in the background. Like that was a great parade. It was such a cool thing up and down. Like they shut down Las Vegas Boulevard from 7 to 8, so it wasn't like so long that you were stuck there, But it was really cool experience, and the fan base there is unbelievable. Like they're a lot bigger than people recognize, a lot more into hockey, but just the way it was set up, and they had a stage after with the lighting, the way they do it. Well, it's Vegas, right? They do everything that way, it seems like, but it was cool. And then Carly, he grabbed the mic first, and he's a pretty quiet guy. And but he let loose. Good for him. It was fun.
Yeah.
Hey, does that lady who took the microphone away from him, does she still have a job, or did she lose her job? I'm just curious if she still works there.
That's actually Kim, and she's a nice girl. I think she was under orders to sort of move the proceedings along. But yeah, I don't think she minded, to be honest with you. She just probably following orders.
Oh yeah, no, it reminds me of everybody panicking, like when the Blues had their cup party and Brett Hull had the microphone, and they're like, okay, somebody probably take the microphone away from Holly just for a minute here, So
yeah, well, yeah, that's the last guy you'd expect to sort of get going was Carl. Well, I mean, I would have anyways. Like I said, such a kind of quiet guy, but he probably had, honestly, he had a baby. I think they had their first baby in round 2 or round 1. I forget, because we had 3 or 4 guys that had them. So leading up to it, right, you're at home a lot. So the poor guy probably hadn't been out in about 5 months, so he let loose. So
good for him, man.
Love it,
as
man.
they should.
Good, let loose. It's harmless.
Hey, do you tell your players to go ahead and let loose? Like just do your thing. Like you just let them go, right? After they win a cup like that.
Well, I'm not going to put the governor on them for sure. Go have fun. I mean, you'd hope that it's a pretty responsible group. Like I've only been there a year, but I mean, from day one, I haven't heard a story out of Vegas about very many players like off ice, but they're pretty good group that way. So I don't have to look out for them there. They kind of manage themselves. So no, I let them, especially after a cup win. You're not going to. Yeah, might never happen again, right? You don't know, so you might as well have that.
Andy would have gave him curfew.
Yeah, right.
They would have listened to you anyway. Hey, when you're coaching, though, Butch, and you're kind of looking at the stands, and you see Guy Fieri, and you see Vince Neil hanging out. Like, do you ever talk to some of those guys? Do you ever look at somebody and be like, man, I used to listen to you in the 80s. You're one of my favorite rock bands. Do you ever, see any celebrities that maybe you've got to know personally?
Yeah, did you guys watch Everyone Loves Raymond? Probably everyone's seen it, right?
Oh yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
We've seen it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Brad Garrett, he's a big. He was Ray's brother. He was, I think, a police officer, right? So he's a big Vegas Golden Knights fan. Has been from day one. So he has a comedy club right there. So I went down and met him. Big dude. He's like Zdeno size. He's like 6'8". But real funny guy, and said big fan, and sent him over a jersey to put up in his place. And no, he was there with us, and probably for every game that he's in town. I think he goes back and forth to Los Angeles. But good guy, big hockey fan. But yeah, that's probably it for now. I saw Mark Wahlberg was at a few games, but I didn't meet him. He lives kind of near where a lot of the guys live and I live. But yeah, that's it.
It's cool to see those guys.
I got to get out more. Yeah, it is, especially hockey fans, right? Sometimes you think these guys are, hockey's a Canadian sport. These guys are all, but it's great to see them out.
How is living in Vegas though? Are you a little bit far away? I'm sure all the guys live in a particular area, and people are probably like, well, I bet you the guys want to go out all the time on the strip. And I'm thinking, man, when you live there, you get sick of all that crap anyway, and you kind of want to hide from everything. So is that kind of the case unless people are coming to visit you?
Well, everybody lives in Summerlin, which is about 25 minutes from the strip. That's where a practice rink is. So everybody, the owner, the skate sharpener, everybody in between lives there. So it's very accessible, easy to get around. It's got, whatever schools you want, private schools, public, whatever. There's baseball teams for the kids. It's just like a normal, just suburb. And I love it there. It's a great spot. We're in a place called the Ridges, kind of community, kind of at the base of the mountain. There's the Red Rock Golf Course there. There's lots of golf courses in Summerlin to choose from. There's everything you need is right there. Now you zip into the strip. It's a pretty easy drive. And the good thing about Summerlin is if people do come to visit you, they want to stay on the strip, so they're not in your house bugging you, right? So
there you go.
That's actually handy, to be honest with you, unless it's your family, I guess. But so it's pretty good that way, and you're not so far from it if you want to go down there and gamble or have dinner, or for in our case, we went and saw about three or four of the Cirque shows. The kids started liking those. So, but there's always something to do. There's music. Bands, different bands every night at either T-Mobile or these smaller venues, or Adele's has a residency. I think Rod Stewart, there's so many people that come and go there. So, you're always going to be able to find something to do. So that's the good part about being that close.
Hey, listen, all these owners, man, they all have like different reputations, like Jeremy Jacobs of Boston, like his reputation isn't great, for those who maybe don't know him, he's got a certain perception about him. Bill Foley, he's been on with us here on the podcast in the past. We've had a bunch of people from Vegas. Have you been to the ranch in Montana? Has he taken you to the ranch? Like, how much interaction do you have with him?
I haven't gone. The coaches didn't go. The players went in training camp. We were all getting to know each other, so we stayed behind, did some stuff there. Then they went with the cup for a day, but it was just players and spouses. So I got to get on Bill for that. I got to get there. I heard it's beautiful out that way. So we'll get our due there sooner or later. Interaction, he's there a lot. Anytime he's in town, like he's got other business. He's in LA a lot, right? He's got his winery there. I think he just bought a whiskey distillery, but that's in Kentucky. So I don't know if he's there a lot, but I know he's in California a lot and Montana. But when he's in Vegas, he's always at the rink popping in, saying hello. He's a very down-to-earth guy. Doesn't want to be called, it's got to be Bill. You got to call him Bill, not Mr. Foley. He's really just one of the guys when he's there. I like him a lot. Really good guy and good to the players, and happy to see him win. Very, 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 like I said, hands-on owner in terms of being interactive with his players and staff.
Hey, listen, people may not know, but I mean, you were a hell of a player coming up, man. I mean, you're a first-round pick.
Yep.
You had a great junior career playing with the Ottawa 67s with Gary Roberts and some other guys, man. You put up some great numbers as a D-man. What happened, like, with your knee? You had all these, like, knee injuries and knee surgeries, but you still put up good numbers in the other leagues that you played in, but how much did it really hamper your ability to have an NHL career?
Yeah, I tell everybody I peaked at 18, but we had just won the Memorial Cup, and I'd signed with Chicago. I actually played a game the year before and had a good chance to make it as a 19-year-old, but I tore my ACL and MCL. I kind of did a good number on it playing ball hockey.
Ball hockey.
Yeah. I played every summer, so I actually had to, if you remember back then, you had to get permission to do a lot of that stuff in your contract. I assume you still do, but so I did every year. So I played it for 3 or 4 years. We had a good team. It was a good league in Ottawa. It kept me busy, but unfortunately, and they didn't repair it right away. The Chicago doctors I had signed, so they had the say in it. So anyway, by the time it got to be back to normal, it was about 3 years later. And you know how it is. There's always another cycle of players coming. So like I said, I had a good minor league career and couldn't quite get up there. I think what happened is I was never a fast guy, but I was mobile, and I lost some of the mobility with those injuries. So what are you going to do? Probably ends up leading. I look back now, I ended up being that guy in the minors. It was always kind of paired with the next younger guy on D or rooming with him back then. And so you're starting to coach even though you don't even know you're doing it at that age. So it probably helped me in this career.
Grinding in the minors, like you learn a lot, right? I mean, even playing, and then you coach a lot in the minors too. Like you absorb so much from some of these kids that you're coaching, right? I mean, you're grinding on the bus.
Well, I'd say so. 20 some years riding the damn bus, you know. But
man.
I tell you, you see a lot of bad movies on the bus.
Yeah, man.
And anyway, it kind of, I don't know, I guess builds character a little bit too while you're at it, and you never know how it's going to play out. But I just love the game, so I was never kind of pissy about it or you know, trying to worry about what the next stop would be. Just try to enjoy it and end up working out. And now we're chartering planes everywhere. We're still complaining when you got to wait 10 minutes to de-ice. You know, like, come on, let's get this thing going.
Hey, listen. You were sleeping on dirt floors, and now you're sleeping in satin sheets, buddy. Baby. Hey, you're in good shape. But you coach in the coast, like you're coaching in Trenton. You're all over. But you know, you get your opportunity with the Capitals. And then you go back to the American Hockey League as an assistant, I think, before you even got a head coaching job back in the American League, and you grinded it out for several years after that. So, like, were you thinking that chance to ever coach in the National League, would that ever come again? Were you content being a minor league coach? Like, where was your mindset at that time?
I don't know if content was the right word, but if it never had worked out, I would have still stayed with it. So yeah, Washington, I was young, got a good opportunity. It was a tough kind of dressing room to break through for a young guy with zero NHL really resume. I played a few games, but not enough to be able to tackle that job. I'd be better prepared for it, like now after years being in the league. But still was good experience. You learn a lot, and I just kind of tumbled around for a bit. That's the way it worked out. Sometimes you land in good spots for your career, and sometimes you don't. And I think getting into the Bruins organization kind of got me back on track. I knew Pete Chiarelli pretty well. He's an Ottawa guy, well enough. So I was down to Providence for a while, and kind of they've done a good job promoting from within the Bruins. So if you stick with it and do your job and do a good job, you have a chance. So that's kind of how it played out. And Boston was a real good fit for me. Walked into a room where I knew half the guys. I'd coached half of them in the minors. So coming in the middle of the year, that helped a lot. So whereas in Washington, I was young, didn't know anybody, didn't help me. So at the end of the day, I was in the right place the second time around, more so than the first.
All right. So what was Brad Marchand like in the minors? I mean, compared to the NHL. And listen, we've had Claude Julien on with us, and different people who, you know, have been open and said, hey, listen, you're going to have to, like, grow up. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm sending you back to the American League. Like, he said he had that conversation with them in training camp. Did you ever have to bring him in and be like, listen, cut the shit, man. You're a great player. Just go out there and play and be a great player. Or was your relationship different like that, man? He never really gave you any issues.
No, Marshy was he was a real mouthpiece in the American League, much more than, like, to the point where it's almost sometimes a distraction. But no, my moments with him came after, with the playoffs against Tampa in 2018. I was up in Boston when he had the licking incident with Ryan Callahan. You know, that was kind of a thing back then in the playoff series, and that's when we sat down, had his family over for dinner. His boy and my son would play together at games. So Katrina gets along with Julie. So anyway, I took him aside and we had a little bit of that chat that Claude probably had with him when he first got there. About Claude's chat was more about, hey, if you want to stick around, that's what you got to do. My chat with him is like, what do you want your legacy to be now? You're now a guy that's won a cup. You've been an all-star. You're Team Canada. Like, do you want to go backwards with that? I mean, there's an edge you can play on, but you're getting to the point where people are going to remember you for the wrong things. So that's probably the biggest conversation I had with him. And I think it hit home with him. I think he understands now how valuable he is to the team. He's still going to do some things because he's an emotional guy, but in Providence, it was more managing his everyday sort of attitude on the bench. Cause I got to tell you, from day one, he's the hardest working guy in practice that I've ever seen, like from day one. So you knew he had the work ethic, and he was a student of the game. He'd ask you questions. He always said, Joe Sakic shoots off his off foot than everyone else does. What do you think? I'm like, I didn't even notice that. I'm going to go take a look at it. And he's studying things that, you're kind of like, wow, he's right. It's some difference. So he was always a guy that was driven and focused. It was just, he'd get off the rails a little bit. So that's what happened in Providence. But I think the bigger effect I had him was more in Boston. And to this day, I'll still try to reach out to him here and there and talk to him because like I said, we hit it off, and he's a guy I spent a lot of time with.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Brad, as long as you're not licking guys, everything else is fine, man. Just go out there and be a great player. But just don't lick anybody.
He's lucky Callahan didn't throw an uppercut, catch him with his tongue, knock his tongue off.
Yeah, it would probably surprise you, right? No one's done that. So it's like, and I think it started with the guy in Toronto, the series before, Komarov, I think his name was. They used to go at it pretty good. He used to, he was a winger for Toronto and then they matched up a lot. I think Babs used him a lot against Marshy. So I think it started there and didn't get noticed, but after that, sure did. So anyway, he cut it out, got his act together, and sure is an elite player now, and maybe the next captain, who knows, in Boston, which people wouldn't have thought. People wouldn't have thought that when he first got up there, right? That, like you said, Claude was bang on, and he could be. I don't know which direction they're going to go, but I'm sure his name will get brought up.
Yeah. You think, hey, and we're going to talk a lot about Vegas, man, too, but you left such a legacy behind in Boston. Do you think he's captain material? Like he could handle that and be a really leader, or a good leader, or the leader that they need there?
I do, because no one's going to end up being like, there's only not that many guys are the perfect kind of mix of everything, right? I think Bergeron was good at that. He led by example. He was still the hardest worker in practice. Off ice, he made sure everyone felt welcome, and it was a good teammate to one another. It set some of those rules that kind of Zdeno had put in place. So, but Brad will be a great leader in terms of leading by example, will to win. Been there, done it. He'll just have to learn how to deal with the younger players that's coming into the league still haven't found their traction, right? That'll be the one challenge for Brad, because he's got high expectations of everybody, and that's just the way he is. There's nothing wrong with that, but how he communicates with those guys would probably be my guess would be his biggest challenge if he's the guy that direction they go. Now they may go younger. They've got some core pieces there in Pasternak and McAvoy that I'm sure they'll consider, and but at the end of the day, they got good choices. Yeah,
well, it's good to have options, man. I mean, I
like that Charlie McAvoy too.
I just left the rink just now, and I saw Ryan O'Reilly and Braden Shen. It's like O'Reilly was the captain, he leaves. Now you just wonder if Braden Shen's going to be the next guy here in St. Louis, man. So that'll be interesting. Listen, Patrice Bergeron officially announces his retirement today. Where do you put him, man? Amongst hockey people you've been around, what kind of legacy did he leave behind with you? Like, what comes to mind when you think about a guy like Patrice?
Well, he's the ultimate professional, looked out for all his teammates, took care of his business on the ice. I think he really grew. We're talking about Marshy, his game, got him. Obviously, the coaches have to do their part, but players that Marshy really looked up to Bergie, so I think he had a huge effect on getting him to reach his potential. Didn't want to let Bergie down. Always wanted to make sure he's playing the right way. So, and then Bergie started that with Pasternak. Now Past also had Krejci, so he had a couple of guys he gravitated to. But that's the type of player. Not only was he a great player, he made people around him better, right? And those are usually the best leaders. So, just a quality person that. Said can't help but admire for everything he does on and off the ice. So I wish him and Steph and their kids all the best. I don't know what his next path will be. It'll be interesting to see if he stays with the Bruins in some capacity or just kind of moves on from hockey. But Boston fans will miss him. I'll tell you that, because he's a great Bruin.
Listen, as a coach, can you feel it when, like, maybe the message is starting to get lost or not coming across? I mean, listen, head coaches, they just don't last very long anymore. You actually had a nice run there in Boston, longer than most people last. Yeah, you did. It's like the shelf life. I saw Craig Berube win the Cup here after just taking over. You go to Vegas and you win the Stanley Cup in your first year. Is there something to be said for that? Like, where a new voice that comes in can maybe get the most out of the players? And like with today's players, maybe that message gets stale after a few years? Like, how do you look at it?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I think there's going to be very few guys that are going to last past 5 years with one team. Like, Coop won twice and then lost in the final. So probably the exception is him because of his success. But most guys, I think, unless they repeat that, it's going to be hard just for whatever reason. I just think players, I don't want to be negative about it or disrespectful. I don't know what it is. They probably just need to listen to someone different, unless you're that coach that doesn't say much and, they can handle it. And maybe you pass it all off to your assistants and they do a lot of the coaching. But eventually, if you're going to hold people accountable, you got to be the guy. And that it can get old for both sides too. Don't forget, as a coach, you don't want to be like, I don't want to be constantly telling a player, listen, you got to, whatever, protect the slot or manage the puck with the lead late in the game. You don't want to be repeating the same message either, right? Like, there's no joy in a coach having to tell the player the same thing over and over again, right? But you've got to find a way to get through to them. So I think that happens on both sides of it. I think coaches will also get tired of coaching some of the same players over and over again too.
Yeah.
So I just think it's sort of a natural thing that eventually it becomes time for someone else. And I think when you only have coaches around for maybe 3, 4, 5 years, that's why you're going to see more guys work for probably 5 or 6 organizations or one cup. And then you get the old, wow, he's recycled coach again. Well, he still knows what he's talking about. It's just he needs a different group to talk to. So that's what I see the future being, but who knows?
No, I get you on that. Hey, so you look at this Vegas team, and it's always fun to look at the roster after a Stanley Cup champion has won, and you look at this Vegas team, and you compare it to Toronto, you compare it to Boston, you compare it to Florida, even Carolina. Like, what separated you guys? Is it a big mobile defenseman? Is it being deep in the middle? Like, what was it?
Well, I liked our middle of the ice. I believe in that. I think you got to be strong down the middle. The Bruins teams that I can speak to because I was there were strong down the middle. You got Eichel. Chandler Stevenson's probably one of the more underrated players in the league.
He's good,
people don't know about. And then I talked about Carlson a little bit earlier, how valuable he is to us and low maintenance. And then Nick Waugh is a real good fourth line center, as good as anybody, I think, in the league. So you're real strong there. And they're good both ways, right? They're not just offensive guys. They can play 200-foot games. And then our D was probably, if it's not the biggest in the league, it's got to be close. And they can all move the puck. They can all defend one-on-one. We're not like this big, mean group, but we're big, right? And we get in the way, and your sticks get in the way. And Haig can be mean. And Petro, as you know, plays the game as hard as anybody and competes. You got some skill with Theodore. You got shot blockers, Martinez and McNabb. So we got a little bit of everything to play any type of game, whether it's up tempo or one of those close scoring games. So the surprise for us was probably the goaltending. Aiden Hill, we didn't know a lot about him, and we acquired him early in the year in training camp, actually, because Robert Leonard ended up having more surgery. So he's probably the guy that surprised us the most, the unknown. And you need it, right? Not going to win without goaltending, and I'd say we have a little more skill. Maybe people thought of balanced scoring. A lot of different guys score. Howden and Amadio, some of these younger guys pitched in the playoffs, and that's usually what happens in a playoff run, right? You need some goals from maybe unexpected sources. So, and then we got a guy from St. Louis, Barbashev, that really helped us.
Barbie.
He's a good hockey player. he's a good player, and he's a playoff player, right? He's inside interior ice all night long, and he's physical. Really, really complimented Eichel, getting pucks off the wall to him and getting to the net. And Marchand was a good fit as the scorer. So that was a really, really strong line for us. And great acquisition by Krim at the deadline. Kind of one of those under the radar ones a little bit, but he was really good for us.
God, when he rocked Gudis. Oh, Lord, he be. And Gudis was hard to deal with, man. Like, he's a tough player. He's hard to deal with.
Oh, he plays hard. He's as honest as anybody. He's out there. He's trying to, he's hitting to make you feel it, right? So he's playing to win. But Barbie, he got him a couple times, so good for him.
Hey, when Eichel got rocked by Matthew, like that could have been a game changer. You know what I mean? Like, they got a little bit of momentum from that. It was very bizarre. It was odd the way Eichel kind of toe picked a little bit, and it just was a crunch. Like, what was the mindset on the bench after that? Did you have to bring the guys in like, okay, we're good, stay focused? Like, how was that?
Well, it was one of the harder ones I've seen, and you're right. He just lost his balance and almost, teed it up for Tkachuk to, just stand there and step into him. So, and he got up, and we're worried about Jack's neck, right? Right away, he had that surgery. It's like, is he going to be all right? But he skated off, and so the good thing was there was only about a minute left in the period. So we had a chance to, get our breath. But you could see the smirks on their face when that happened.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that it could have been a turning point, and it turned our way because he came out in the third period, Jack. He was fine. Wins a race to a loose puck, beats a guy, throws it to Marchand so in front. We get the next goal after they had just scored. So we still had a good lead, but it showed that, hey, Jack's like, I'm fine. I can take a hit. This is big boy hockey. It's playoffs. I'm ready to go. So it sent as much a message to us that we knew he was ready to play to them that you're going to have to bring better than that. So I can't speak to, how it affected them, but I assume that it must have a little bit to see a guy bounce back from a hit like that and then continue to dominate.
Yeah, there's no doubt, man. And listen, and Jack Eichel, he became one of my favorite players in the league. Like, I always appreciated him coming up with USA Hockey, but you kind of get buried in Buffalo. He kind of had a reputation as a little bit of a whiner. You see how things went when he went back to Buffalo. He's one of those guys that wanted out of there. But for him to be able to establish that two-way game, is something that I don't think anybody saw. So is that a natural part of his game that you knew you could get out of him, or do you feel like you had to instill that in him? Like, how did he react to you kind of pushing him to develop that 200-foot game? Because he keeps doing that, man. I mean, this guy can be one of the best two-way centers in the league if he continues on that path.
Yeah, that's all coaching, fellas. You know that.
Damn right it is, Butchie.
I know it is.
Baby.
I put it on a tee for you, like when you're playing against that CEO,
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yes. We had conversations when we first got together, actually here in the Cape, because he's from this area, about, listen, we're in it together. We're kind of coming in at the same time. There's a lot of talk about Vegas. They missed the playoffs the year before. Like, we're going to either have, success or fail together. So what do you need? And here's what I'm expecting. So, and he'd been around Boston a little bit. He knew the type of teams they were there, that we were going to be, good away from the puck. So we used Bergeron as an example, a bit of how, and even David Krejci. David Krejci is a very good defensive center. He can play away from the puck. So there's a couple of guys that, if you want to be these types of players, this is what the ask is going to be. So, and he bought in right away. There's no maintenance at all with that part of the game. The only area with Jack, he was used to playing more minutes, right? So that was the only area we sort of had. I say, listen, Jack, we're going to be a 4-line team. You're going to have to trust me on this. It's going to work for us in the end. It's better. We're better off being that type of team we're trying to be if you want to go the whole way. So that was really the only area. A couple things here or there, but no, he was low main. He's a good teammate. Guys like him. He's got some personality. I can't say enough good things about him, and I think he will. If he continues and gets some, can be a guy that will be in the Selke discussions.
Yeah, man.
If his face-off, he can dig in at the end of a game, or if you need him, but that's where he's got to get. Those numbers probably have to improve, because people look at that, right? Oh, face-off's got to be a certain amount. And there's some truth to that. So hopefully that's something he takes to heart. I didn't use him a lot on the penalty kill, and he can kill penalties. We tried to build some of our guys that were in the sort of third and fourth line guys into the kill a little more. That's where those minutes I was talking about. But I think he should be in that conversation and should get some votes, because he's a very, very good defensive player away from the puck. I don't know if you remember the Edmonton series when he stripped McDavid late in the game, sealed the game.
Yeah.
There's a few instances like that. He can, because he can, he can travel long distances in a hurry to cut people off. So he's got good angles. He understands the game away from the puck. He doesn't get beat. He's a big guy. Like, Jack's a strong guy, so he's not going to get beat one-on-one very often either. But no, he's, like I said, this should really elevate his game and his career. I would think winning like this should give him lots of confidence that he should feel like he's in the conversation with all the top players in the league now and take that next step.
Yeah, right.
He should. He should.
Yeah, no, he reestablished himself as
100%.
a elite superstar in the NHL, and so now what he does with it, I'll be interested to see. You mentioned Barbashev, and listen, I'm curious if you think you actually win the cup if you don't make that trade, and listen, Eichel has such great hands, and Marchand obviously got hot, and he was scoring goals, but even in 2019 when the Blues beat you guys. And I don't think they win without that fourth line of, Sundqvist and Barbashev and Alexander Steen. And I look at your fourth line, man, with Colasar and Carrier and Waugh. I'm curious if you see any resemblances or similarities between the Blues fourth line in 19 versus what you put out there this year. And in a two-part question, I mean, do you really believe that you guys win the cup if you don't make that Barbashev deal?
Yeah, that's a tough one to answer because I don't know who goes up there. Barbie was a really good fit. It's not the first thing that comes to mind is going to be a top-line left corner, but the way he played the game, I don't know if we could have replaced that. We had a young kid, Paul Cotter, that it's certainly he had 13 goals and he had some of that game, but he wasn't as polished. He's just not there yet where Barbie is. So I don't know. I'm glad we got him. I'll say that. And he certainly did his part more to help us win. So it's a good question. Second part, the fourth line, we started our fourth line probably 80% of the games, regular season and playoffs. We're not afraid of any matchup at all. They're all big guys. They can all defend. They have a little off. Carrier ended up with 18 goals, I believe. Nick Waugh plays on both special teams. So they have some offensive ability. And Kolasar is a guy that essentially knocked Kachuk out of the series with a hit. A nice clean hit. So
he did.
So those guys meant a lot to us. And yes, St. Louis, I thought Barbashev had a lot of great hits. Sundqvist against us. I liked our fourth line back then. We had Sean Corrali and Nola Chari that were physical guys on it too. So it was a battle of two teams that could play their fourth line. I think Nordstrom was our other guy. Then it was more of a penalty killing guy. But I liked St. Louis's fourth line in 19. I liked our fourth line. I think it helped us beat Toronto early on, and then Carolina along the way. And then this year, I thought was one of the biggest differences. We could play those guys and get favorable matchups from that line, playing against other teams' better lines, and I think it worked out for us too in a lot of the games.
Hey, Butchie, that was not a trip, by the way. Bozak on Achari.
Oh, Butchie.
And I tell Achari that last year when he was here
boy.
Oh, Butchie.
I'm like, that was not a trip. That was not a trip.
Yes, it was.
It may have been a big time trip, actually. How do you stay composed behind the bench on that one? Butchie, you should have gotten suspended.
On that one. I think I might have got fined. I don't know. I can't remember. No, that was the Islanders next year.
Yeah, that was the next year.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That's life, though. You know, what are you going to do? But,
25 grand? You didn't even say anything, really, against the Islanders. I was like, what? They gave you 25 grand for that? Come on now.
I think I must have been on the hot list or something. Like the next time he says something, we're going to get him. I agreed. I said, what? For that? I should have went on a rant.
You should have.
Anyway.
Moving furniture.
I know.
Man, hey, let me ask some. You bring up Willie Karlsson, and you say that he's low maintenance. Like, explain that. And as a coach, dealing with a guy that gives you a lot of production, and he's low maintenance. Like, define that.
Okay, so one example. The start of the year, we have Eichel, Stevenson, and Karlsson. They're three good offensive centermen, and I end up playing William Karlsson. I start with, I think it was Marchand and Stone are up with the other two centermen and Riley Smith and I want to say Phil Kessel. I forget who I put up there at the start of the year. So he's playing with two young guys in Howden and Amadio, right? So we really have 7 proven offensive guys. And the way I shook it out is I put 6 of them as our top 2 lines. So talking to him, I was like, listen, I know you've played with Smith and Marchand a lot, but I'm just looking for different sort of formulas here in chemistry. We're going to shuffle some people around, so you're going to have to play with the young guys to start. So I'm going to ask you to make sure you take care of business defensively with that line and sort of grow their game a little bit. And he was like, right away, no problem. I'll play wherever you want. I'm just here to, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't a guy coming in saying, listen, I need one of those 2 wingers. I play with them, most of my time here. I need, it's going to help my game offensively. I'm not happy with my year before. So not a word out of him, just does his job every day. If you get dropped to the second power play unit for someone else, just, goes and plays. So that's what I mean by low mains. Guys that you're not always having to find stuff for that maybe is not in the best interest of the team. And there are some of those guys out there you got to look after. And that's not always a bad thing. It's just part of the business too, where these guys are superstars and they expect to have, if they're going to be held to that standard, then they need, certain line mates or whatnot, ice time, different things. And Carly was very good about all those things. And like I said, never said a word, no matter who he played with, just went out and did his job. And, he was really good for us against Winnipeg early on. We didn't start great in the playoffs, and he was one of our best players the second half of the year, and then going into the Winnipeg series, and then did a fantastic job against McDavid in the Edmonton series. I thought when we asked him to do that. So those are the things I'm talking about. Just doing stuff for the good of the team, and he's a class guy that way.
Yeah, I really meant, do you win the cup without Phil Kessel? Not without Barbie. I meant with Phil Kessel.
Well, I got to tell you, Phil's an interesting cat. Guys loved him. He's probably the most popular teammate. I felt bad. William Carrier came out. He healed quicker than we thought he would from an injury, and he went in, and Phil had to come out. Right, this was best for the team. But anyway, I was like I said, he's a good guy to talk hockey with. He's an interesting guy. I don't know where it's going to go from here, but hopefully it works out well for him.
Yeah, he's going to be on your first power play next year.
Yeah, he is.
He'll be running the
assistant coach,
and he's your
health coach.
He'll never miss. He's actually your fitness
He's your
coach.
new trainer.
He'll never miss a game either. You can count on him.
Yeah, no shit.
Hey, listen, man. Be honest with me, Butchie. When Boston loses to Florida in the first round, are you opening up a bottle? Are you opening up a bottle of red wine?
We're doing cartwheels around the house. Yeah,
damn right.
I actually said this because my kids, they're at that age, right? The Shannon and Cole are 12 and 14, where they come back. We come back for the summer, and the last thing I want them is to hear from all the kids in the neighborhood. Your dad sucks, and he's the reason we didn't. You know what I mean? Like, so I felt very relieved for them that they didn't. Listen, that's the business we chose, coaching, and there's people that say stuff on the social media for everything nowadays. But at the end of the day, I didn't want them to have to live that this summer. Yet, there's guys in that room that you went to bat with, and we lost in Game 7. Like, I feel for those guys. Like, we still kind of, those are some of the first guys I heard from when we won. Was the group of players from the 19 team, because we were so close. So anyway, I felt good, in that regard for them, but bad for some of the guys that, look at Bergie now, right? He's going to retire. He's retiring. So sure to love to go out on top, but anyway, ton of respect for those guys. But yeah, there was a little bit of, you can't help that. Feel a little bit like, I don't know what the right word is, but just relief in my case because of my situation. But we were taking care of business at the same time. So that's your priority all the time anyway. If you take care of business, and maybe you meet in the final, right? That's what everyone kept talking about, but not that way.
I got a question about Big Z. Like, if you had, of all the people you've coached and, throughout the years, even played with, like, if you had to draft a team and you're going to pick out your first defenseman, like, it's got to be Big Z, right? And that guy could do it all. He's a monster. He's a leader. Like, tell us about him.
Well, yeah, there'd be so many good choices, but he's a guy that in today's game, and we talked about this earlier, right? Like, our D was a big difference in the series we played. They were hard to play against big guys, and Z falls right into that category. That's why the Bruins had so many successful runs. He was part of 3 Stanley Cup Finals. They won one and they lost to Chicago in a tough one, and St. Louis, as you know, in a tough one. But still, he was a catalyst. Guy that could play against anybody, wanted to play against everybody. When the best player was on the ice, he wanted out there against them. Took a lot of pride in shutting down the other team's best players, and he could still drive offense. He had the big shot, could move the puck. Got a little tougher for him at the end, but at the end of the day, still had a good mind for it, where the puck needed to go. So yeah, I mean, there's really no negatives. A big brother on the ice. I mean, everyone knew that if you went after some of our guys, you're going to have to deal with Z at some point. And he had a long enough fuse that his discipline was excellent, and he didn't get goaded into bad penalties. But enough of a temper that he needed to take care of business. He did in a heartbeat.
Hey, listen, man, I've asked a lot of head coaches who have come on with us. I mean, from Joel Quenneville to Mike Babcock. I'm just curious, like, when you get fired, like, I felt like you were not expecting it. Like, it came later in the offseason. And what's it like? Like, the next 48 hours after you get fired, like, describe what that feeling is like. I mean, are you pissed off? Are you angry? Are you like, oh my God, I got to move my family now? Because you got hired so quickly after that. I think you hired, you got the job with Vegas like a week later or something like that. So what was your initial reaction? Were you completely blindsided by it?
I'd never say completely blindsided because, I mean, we lost in the first round, right? So anything can happen, right? Like there's just expectations. I did have another year left. We sat down a few days after it. And, to me, I felt like, okay, we're going forward here. Let's talk about our staff, what players are going to be back, et cetera. So I fully expected to be back. But, a few weeks later, they went a different direction. So that part of it surprised me because I think if they had told me right away, I'd be like, well, I guess that's the price of doing business here. You got to have success in the playoffs. So, and then some other things came out about coaching younger guys a narrative that I disagree with then and still disagree with now. But at the end of the day, I'm not bitter because I got an opportunity because Claude Julien got fired, right? And that's the way it works. And I got an opportunity in Vegas because Pete DeBoer got fired. So those are two really good coaches. So it is part of it. I think moving your family is difficult. That was we moved from Providence, which wasn't a difficult move an hour, but now moving across the country. But that's part of it too, right? You get paid well to do what you do, so you got to put up, with some of the stuff that you may not want to do. So that part of it is fine. And for me, it was announced. I remember there was a playoff game going on. I got a phone call that night from my agent, said a team reached out. So for me, the wheels started turning fairly quickly on the next spot, more so than being angry about this spot, right? And I ended up talking to a number of different teams, probably 6 teams in total. So now you're excited about your next opportunity more than pissed about the previous one. So that it happened quick for me. So that was the good news about it. I didn't have a lot of time to dwell on it. It was okay. Let's talk about where we may want to land next. So I was fortunate. Not everyone gets to do that. I got let go in Washington. That didn't happen. I got offered a scouting position with Chicago way back then. This time I got offered opportunities to interview and move on to another head job. So that's the way I looked at it. Was kind of grateful that there was teams out there that wanted me to go and coach for them.
All right, but listen, like your post-game press conference is like, I just want to get your post-game breakdowns like on tape and just like play them in the car, like for my kids, like on the way to the rink. It's like listen what he's saying. Such like detailed breakdowns, man. I love the way that you handle the media, but the perception that you left Boston with, like with players coming out like Jake Debrusk and some of that trade stuff. Like, do you feel like you had to repair your reputation as a coach at all, or did you feel like it was unfair? Like when you're hearing the stuff about some of these younger guys, including DeBrusk, some even brought up Bergeron. You heard Trent Frederick and some of these other guys. How pissed off were you to hear this stuff? And did you feel like you had to go on damage control?
Well, there were some questions in interviews regarding the younger players. And I said, ask me whatever you want. And I actually interviewed with a couple of teams that got a little farther along. I said, why don't you guys just have your captain call Bergie or Marsh or Pastor, you're not going to call every player, right? You're not going to, but call the veteran guys or I wouldn't past, I guess, is Miller Road or McAvoy, who's a young guy, and ask the questions because I'd rather it be out there now if you're worried about something. So I kind of being an open book. And some teams did. I know Mark Stone called Bergeron. So I thought my relationship with Bergeron was excellent. There was no issues there. We still communicate with one another. He said positive things that helped me land in Vegas. Some of the younger guys, yes, there was some instances guys were not happy with certain parts of the coaching. Maybe the messaging was what I was told. Not so much the message, but how it was messaged. So I'm like, okay, I'll take that to heart, be a little more gentle, I guess, going forward. But at the end of the day, I got hired, and everywhere I did go is, well, you're going to hold your team accountable. And I'm thinking, damn right I am. That's what I believe in. So sometimes that does require, honest and difficult conversations. So you got to be prepared for that because I don't believe you don't win without accountability. So some of that, yes, there was a little bit of, I don't know if damage control is the right word, but digging a little deep, peeling off a few layers of how we coached in Boston or how I coached in Boston was probably a better way to put it. And I felt honestly that when I took over, we put in Debrusk was one of them that came up the next year and went right into the lineup. Anders Bjork, Danton Heinen, Connor Clifton, Grizzlich, McAvoy, Carlo. And down the road, Pasta got promoted up the lineup. Vetrano was a younger guy. Now we moved him. Ryan Donato came in and we moved him for Charlie Coyle. So there was a lot of young guys that came in and played well for us. Some we moved on to acquire other players, and some are still there and part of the core now. So I thought I coached young players well. So that kind of bothered me. They weren't going to have it easy by any means, but they were certainly going to be in the lineup if they were better than a veteran guy. It was that simple. If you make our team better, you're going in, but I'm going to have to coach you a certain way because I can't just give you everything. And that's the way I looked at it, still do to this day if they're better.
Hey, listen, man, one door closes, another one
damn
opens.
right,
especially if you had the success that you had. I mean, and it's probably difficult at the time, especially when you have a family. You got to tell your kids, hey, listen, we got to move now.
Yeah.
So that can't be easy. Hey, listen, who's the most difficult player to game plan against, that you just know, hey, well, no matter what we do, man, you just got to hope that he doesn't go 2-2 against us, and it is what it is. Is it McDavid? You've played against Ovi for so long. You had Pasta.
Matthew.
Is it Austin Matthews? You got Matthew Tkachuk, like who's elevated himself. Like who's the guy that's just that unicorn, man? That's the most difficult player for you to like go up against.
Well, I think Makar should be in that conversation because he's unique. Like he's a modern day when he's on Bobby Orr, right? So those guys on defense are a little tougher. Like a Tkachuk, you can say, okay, listen, he's going to get to the, you start watching him game after game. That's one thing I love about the playoffs. You know how good players are, but now you're watching them on tape for game after game and how good Draisaitl is on his backhand, how he initiates contact to draw people to, you know what I mean? You see a little bit more of the details of what makes him so good. McKinnon and like Marchand used to whack guys' sticks before he'd go around them one-on-one. It was a really little thing, but there's so many of those little things you see as you go through. So I would say, obviously McDavid is the most difficult, but Makar is a guy, and you know who else is a really good hockey player that is going to come into his own if he isn't already considered a star, is that Rupi Hintz in Dallas.
Yeah.
That guy's a good player.
Yep.
He's a really, really nice hockey player, and he can fly. He can shoot. He sees the ice. Robertson's more the goal scorer because he's just a natural. So it's hard to game plan for him. He just gets his stick on everything, right? It's like a trick around the front of the net. It's like, okay, guys, listen, you got to get underneath him. You got to box him out, but he's just got a way of getting open and drawing people out of the good area and making plays into the middle of the ice. And you see it once you start coaching against him. So that's a little bit of a hockey IQ thing when you're playing him, and then a size when he's in front. But there's so many good ones. Marner was another one I found in Toronto, because he's just unique with his creativity that was always fun to play and coach against. The other guy's the guy that hurt us a lot when I was involved was Ed Nylander. He scored a lot on us, more than the other guys, it seemed like. But I'd say Marner and was always, again, guy that played in all situations. It was good to go up against.
I got kind of a goofy question for you, but I know you've only been in Vegas for a year, but I'm a foodie kind of guy. I like to eat food. I like steaks. Like, give me a restaurant that's underrated and give me a restaurant that's overrated, just in case people want to go to Vegas. I'm just curious. Did you go? What do you like?
I didn't. I am not. Some people eat to live and others live to eat. I'm probably more just eating to survive. I can eat anything. I love seafood. That's why I like the Boston area, Cape Cod. I was told, now I haven't been there, that the Piero's Italian restaurant is a great spot because it's that old Vegas style with the red and white tablecloth. That's a good spot. I went to a place called Barry Steakhouse. Rhode Island guy is a chef there. Very good. It's at the bottom. It's in Cirque. And then in the suburbs in Summerlin, I went to a place called Jing I liked a lot. I think the guy is opening a place in Denver now. It's kind of that Asian fusion, a little bit of everything. But the chef there was outstanding. He was good to the team, right? So that was probably one of my favorites because, we didn't have to wait for a table. It was nice and easy.
You're damn right
you don't. Jump in there. and then the word I can't not recommend something, right? I don't know if I can't think of one off the top of my head. I don't want to get myself in trouble.
Oh my
here.
God, you'll never be able to go there again,
Yeah, I
Bruce.
know.
A terrible question, Cam.
I'm sorry about that. I'm not a journalist.
Hey, last thing for you from me though. I could go on and on, man, but we'll let you go. Get out there and do some fishing or whatever you got
damn
going
right,
on today.
Butchie.
You had the cup there, and it was great to see you at the Stanley Cup, man. Again, congratulations, dude. I mean, I know you've been through an awful lot. I mean, you've been coaching forever. To win that,
Damn right.
it's just got to be an unbelievable feeling. Even though you listen, you're a first-round pick, you had injuries, you couldn't fulfill your dream maybe as a player, but you do it as a coach. It's got to be a great feeling. But you bring the cup back there, and you had a charity that was involved for your daughter, her best friend who was killed in a boating accident, I believe, in Aruba. Like, just a terrible story, but you were able to start a foundation in her honor. If you want to talk about that, and just being able to celebrate the cup with her family too.
Yeah, that was a tough one. My daughter and her became best friends just over a year ago. They were actually on vacation. There was 4 girls in their school break in Florida the week before she had her accident, doing all the same things, boating, tubing, things that kids just do, right, without thinking. And then the next week she went to Aruba with her family, Dave and Linda and her brother Adam, and unfortunately, had that accident. And so it could have just as easily been Shannon, my daughter, right? I mean, it could have been anybody in that water. It was so your heart goes out to them. And at the end of the day, that we opened up our house here in the Cape all winter. If you want to come here, we're not here. Use it anytime if you want to get away, because it's got to be difficult in your community. People are constantly reminding you, and I think it's not I can't imagine like how you deal with that. So at the end of the day, when we won, I said, we should, if they're thinking of starting their foundation now, we should bring the cup there and maybe take a few people take a picture, let all the minor hockey teams know, and start creating some awareness for the Cassidy Murray Foundation. Maybe raise some money while we're there, because I remember in 11 when the Bruins won, I went to one of the guys' parties and they were doing some of that. So I thought it'd be a good idea to get it going off the ground. There's so many hockey fans here too so it ended up being a terrific day. We were out there for 2 hours, created some good memories for the family. They got their foundation up and running. So it's just one of those deals where, if you can kind of make their life easier, even if it's just for one day. I mean, I get emotional just talking about it. But
I get you, man. I get you.
Yeah, no, it's
You're a good
amazing
man,
what you were
Butchie.
able to do. And her name was Cassidy too, which is interesting.
You're a good
with
man,
your
Butchie.
last name. So I know you were at the rink this morning, man, with your son. Does he let you on the ice with him? By the way, does he want you to coach?
No.
Does he listen to you?
No. I did that when I was younger. When they first started, I coached my daughter too. She plays. She's a 14U. He's a 13U. But he does Paul Vincent's skills up here.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I don't think Paul would let me on the ice even if I wanted to go. He's got his own ship there he runs, and does a great job with the kids. He's been doing it forever. They do a really good job here. So, yeah, it just keeps them busy. Like, I'm not that parent that wants my kid on the ice every day in the summer. I'm just never going to be that guy. If he wanted to be or she wanted to be, I'd say, okay, we'll provide it for you. But I think it's important you do other things, play other sports, play some golf, play some baseball, tennis, whatever it is, so you can build your hand-eye coordination and not get so wrapped up in one thing. But it's nice to be on the ice a couple times a week so that when the year starts, it's just around the corner that they've at least been out there. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's kind of always been my thing. Become an athlete first before we become just a one sports guy. And if you pick one, you're going to pick one later on, obviously, then you got to do that, but not right now.
I agree with you.
No, I'm with you. It's becoming harder and harder to do that. Like, you can't be competitive in more than one sport nowadays because the 12-month demand. I mean, it's crazy.
Andy dominated like 12 different sports when he was growing up. It was crazy.
But listen,
he just picked the wrong one.
It's just there's just a lot of demand on these kids. 12 months a year if you want to play competitively. So, well, listen. And how's the youth hockey in Vegas? I know they've got programs.
It's pretty good. Both the teams they played on were good teams. They played lots of tournaments. They did well. They just don't have the depth. Like when we left Boston, I remember Cole's age group that had to have at least 12 teams that were basically local, maybe an hour away to Providence, but and 5 or 6 of them were solid teams, but out there they don't. You're traveling everywhere to get good competition. So that's the problem. If they could grow the game a little more, where they had maybe 3 or 4 local organizations and you wouldn't have to go away so much. You could be a little easier on the families. But that's just the way it is right now. And I'm sure it was that way in California when it started, in Florida, and et cetera, Texas. And so they've just got to keep growing it from the bottom up. And they need a few more rinks. And I think Bill Foley, I've heard, is maybe thinking about building another one, another sheet where there's a few more. That's kind of how it gets started, right? But it's a great fan base. They're really into it. They love the game. They love the game out there. That surprised me probably the most, how passionate they were about the game of hockey out there.
And it's good for hockey.
Yeah.
It's damn good for hockey.
Yeah. Listen, man.
Yeah.
All the
Butchie, you're
best
man,
to you.
dude.
Go enjoy your time with your family. And once again, congratulations.
We're rooting for you,
It's
bud.
great to watch.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. And enjoy the rest of your summer. We'll be back at it before you know it.
I know.
Right on, buddy.
We'll see you during the
We'll
season.
be watching.
Have a great summer.
See
We'll
you,
talk
Butchie.
soon.
Later, bud.
All right, thanks, guys.
The Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by Bellman and Bellman.com. BEHLMANN.com. Get out there to Detroit, Missouri. Check it out. On one side, you got the Buick, the GMC. Options for everybody. Then right across the street, you got the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Again, find something that works for you and get yourself a new set of wheels in time for the summer.
Yeah.
All right, that was Butch. Give me the 5 things you take away from that interview.
Man.
Let's go.
That was last week.
Because we got to go quickly here in the close because, you know,
He's
we went
an
so
honest
long
guy.
in the intro.
I liked how you asked him. And let me tell you, Andy, people do chirp you in ways because stuff you say like, how big Saudi Arabia? As big as the Pacific Ocean. That's ludicrous. And then you go, well, Vermont. Just ludicrous. And it's all good. Because I mess up on things too. Don't get me wrong. But people enjoy the questions you ask. And you ask Butchie about some of those players in Boston that kind of turned on him a little bit. He goes to fucking Vegas with his team. He gets them all together, finds a way to just be on the same game plan, and wins a fucking Stanley Cup with chaos going on in Vegas. They're spending money. You know, the owner's kind of screwing some heavy guys over. They're getting a weird reputation with different things. With Marc-Andre Fleury and fucking, what's his name, that has a snake farm. He owes $30 million. Robin Leonard. Like, it's a lot of weird stuff.
I wanted to ask him, where is Robin Leonard?
What is he doing? Is he alive?
Robin, call us. One of our best conversations we've ever had was with Robin Leonard, by the way.
Look, he was up and down on that one, man.
Up and down. But I did ask him,
Bipolar.
like, what is it about, like, when a new coach, all of a sudden they take these teams to the next level? We saw it all over last year, Cam. Paul Maurice in Florida. Peter DeBoer in Dallas. Bruce Cassidy, Butchie in Vegas. Jim Montgomery in Boston. They put
Dave
up a
Hextall
historic
in Seattle.
regular
Came out of nowhere,
season.
Did this thing, 2
second
years
year.
in.
But yeah,
Second
you know,
year.
Craig Berube wins the Stanley Cup after taking over.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I'm
you
saying?
just have a new.
Hey, do you feel me?
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. And I don't know why I brought Hextall into that mix because I felt the first year,
Hackstall?
Dave Hextall, the first year, they just had no, it was COVID.
It wasn't Vegas.
What's that?
It just wasn't like what Vegas was.
Yeah, it was a COVID year and stuff like that too. Wasn't it?
I mean, it was
No,
like
Seattle.
It was after COVID.
Yeah, but they couldn't do anything with.
They've
the
been in
team.
the league for 2 years, so.
Yeah, but they couldn't do anything with the team and stuff like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Climate pledge.
Climate Pledge Arena, baby. Don't drive them SUVs anymore, Andy.
No, don't.
How dare you drive
All right,
that?
so name something else.
How dare you drive that SUV?
Name something else.
You're making me
What's your
uncomfortable.
other takeaway? Hey, he got emotional talking about the charity he's doing too, for his daughter's
That's
best
right.
friend, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Like a water boating accident, whatever it was, in Aruba, dude. Could you imagine going on that? I feel for that family.
It happens.
And the little girl who passed away, her name was Cassidy.
It happens all the time. Every single weekend, some dipshit runs somebody over. They have their mommy and daddy's boat. The parents let the kids take their jet skis out at a young age. Don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I saw a scuba diver get bit by a shark yesterday.
Yeah, sharks happen. We're not talking about
I
sharks
was watching
right now.
on a drone.
Andy doesn't know how to stick with one storyline. He's got to talk about sharks. I'm talking about boating accidents.
I know there.
There was a nasty boating accident down to Lake of the Ozarks
Again?
2 weeks ago. Yes.
Oh my God.
$500,000 boat going 60 miles an hour at nighttime.
Oh,
And it was a
Are
professional.
you allowed to drive a
It was-
boat at night?
Yes. Not that. You should never drive a boat.
Is there a
past-
speed limit?
Yes.
They give you speeding tickets?
Yes. You should never drive a boat past 20 miles an hour at night. You should never drive a boat past 15 to 20 miles an hour at night. You don't do it.
Is there anything
very
in the
dangerous.
water in the Ozarks
Debris.
where you go that'll kill you?
Oh, like an animal.
Yeah.
There is alligator gar that have teeth. Will they kill you? No. You know the biggest thing that kills you down at Lake Ozarks?
The
What?
Nasty water.
Nope.
The diseases.
Nope.
Sexual transmitted
Nope.
diseases.
It's not going to kill you. What?
It could kill you.
What?
I would say the
What would be the number one?
The current.
People.
Oh.
People will kill you. They'll run you over. They'll run you into a fucking dock in the middle of the night.
The Hoosiers.
The Hoosiers. The Hoosiers let their kids. A 13-year-old girl will kill you because she turns right in front of you and you turn, you hit somebody else.
I love it when
the
listeners call people Hoosiers from Canada. They don't.
I love it, baby. See when I start? I love all you motherfuckers. You know that,
I love
baby.
all my
all
people.
you motherfuckers.
All my people.
I love it. I love it. I want to entertain.
I want to give a
shout
shout out to my people.
I love all you guys and girls, by the way.
All of them.
Goddamn right.
All right, give me something else from Bruce.
Man, I don't remember.
He was a hell of a defenseman back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Okay, 3 surgeries on his knee.
Yeah.
He grinded it through the minors playing. Fucking did all the shit. Then he had to grind through the minors coaching. Then he gets hired by the Capitals. Then he gets fired. Then he has to go again.
Grinded it in the
homie.
minors.
On those bus rides. Fucking dealing with people coming in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. That's a grind. And he did it. Played a little bit in the NHL, got banged up, had 3 knee surgeries. Then he grinds it in the coast to American League. Then to finally get his shot.
I like how he told these teams that he was interviewing with, call my veteran players.
There
That's what he said.
Exactly. When you
call
them. See what they say.
And Bergeron, who, from what I understand, I will say this. I think Bergeron was a big part of Cassidy not returning, though, Cam.
I know. That's what was
Remember,
bizarre about it,
he didn't even say he was going to come back.
Yeah.
David Krejci came back after they made the coaching change.
Yep, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? But Bergeron still told Mark Stone, you hire Butchie, you'll win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation.
That's what he told him.
I know. It's weird.
Hey, but like I asked Butchie about all these guys. Hey, listen, the shelf life for a head coach, it is very, very small.
It is, man. It's a revolving door.
So if I'm a head coach, you get that job, you better get as much term as you possibly can because it's all guaranteed money, man. You want to make sure you get, set yourself up.
I agree. No doubt about it. He's a winner.
He's a winner.
No one will ever take that away from him.
They could win again.
Yeah, I hope they're fun. I like them.
Mm-hmm. Although they probably won't. It's tough to repeat.
It's tough, man. It's tough to do. Big time.
Not many teams can do it.
Well, it's hard. You don't want repeaters anyway. You want somebody new.
Will Edmonton win a Stanley Cup in the next 3 years?
No.
I mean, that was a quick answer.
No.
I mean, that's a lot of conviction in that answer.
Anything could happen.
Uh-huh.
No.
Okay.
Who's their goalie?
Skinner.
How's their D?
Average.
How's their depth up front? If McDavid gets hurt, how are they doing?
Scoring's not
if
the issue.
McDavid gets hurt,
power play's not the issue. Scoring's not the issue.
If McDavid gets hurt, how are they going to do?
Well, they got the other guy.
Okay.
Drysaddle's pretty damn
Okay.
good.
I'd say no.
Okay.
I love all you guys up in Edmonton, man. I'm sorry. I don't even know. And you be like, fucking Cam, you don't know shit? Maybe I don't. I don't even care. But if I was a betting man on who's going to win the Stanley Cup in the next 3 years, Edmonton would not be on my list.
Do they need
Do you know who would be?
Who?
Who do you think? Who do you think's on my list?
To win the Stanley Cup?
Yep.
Go
ahead.
Ottawa?
No.
Hold on.
I got 3.
I mean, Florida, you're not saying that.
No.
Okay. Jersey, for sure.
Yep.
Hey, I got to say something about Jack Hughes, by the way.
Carolina.
Jack Hughes, when it's all said and done, and you can put this out there, Brody, because I just pumped his tires the other day. But then I also said, and there's more video. People are sending me videos where he just does not talk in the videos. Mm-hmm. Come on, Jack. We got to. That's the only thing missing. Mm-hmm. You just got to play ball a little bit, kind of brand yourself. Let's go. Remember how excited you got when Luke was drafted? Remember, and he was he grabbed him and he was shaking.
He's he's stoic.
What did he do to his brother?
Oh, he grabbed his balls or something, didn't he?
No, he didn't do that.
What did he do?
He just kind of
Oh, he made out with him. Oh, he humped his fucking. Jesus, don't do that.
He did that.
Jesus Christ.
It was shaking.
It's like giving your mom a big kiss on her lips. Fuck that.
I'm going to say this. When Jack Hughes retires, he will have made the most money of anybody in the history of the National Hockey League.
Okay.
He will be the highest paid player to ever play in this game.
Sometimes I think Andy think something's I'm gonna be like, he's gonna blow my doors off with something. Like, I'm gonna say this and Cam's gonna freak out, and we're gonna put like, okay.
Hey, he will be the highest paid
They
player.
might get overpaid, man.
In the overpaid.
Well, you might get a contract that's
Well, he's making 8 right now. His next contract, he's going to make 17 to 20
okay.
a year.
He's gonna be good. He's gonna make a lot of money. And then the kid that's like 5 years after him is gonna make more, and then that other kid's gonna make more. You know, like I get that.
When he retires,
I know what you're saying.
I didn't say like 30 years after he's retired.
No, I know.
When he retires, he will go down as the highest paid player.
He's on that
He will have
trajectory.
made more money than anybody in the history of the game.
He's on that trajectory right now.
Yeah.
Like he's
More
he's
than
at the-
McDavid.
He's at the perfect age. He
Now,
already
Connor
signed a big
Bedard
ticket.
could be too.
Could. Or
Connor Bedard,
Leo.
in 3 years, Leo
the Russian.
Leo walking up stage like I'm
Fuck
fucking
yeah, with the
here.
hair. How about the Russian? He might make fucking shit ton. Although he's got 3 years. He's gonna be missing out on making.
I hear
money.
Columbus still would have taken Fantilli over Leo Carlson.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Hot
mean,
takes.
did that
Hot takes
did that
everywhere
blow
from
your
Andy.
no, your
it did not.
doors
So
off?
anyway, the next 3 years,
Mhm.
who the 3 teams I think are going to win the Stanley
Buffalo?
Cup?
No.
No. Carolina,
Okay.
New Jersey.
Carolina's not winning.
Okay. Carolina, New Jersey, and Dallas.
Okay. You have one of those, I think, right. I don't think Dallas will win. I don't think Dallas will have as good of a year this coming year as they did last year. Now it's going to be like, okay, eventually you got to move on from some of these guys. Once they completely turn the team over to the Robertsons and the Heiskanens and the Wyatt Johnsons and everybody else they got, once we move on from like maybe Ben and Sagan, man, I love those guys. They've been warriors for a long
They
time.
make a lot of money.
I don't like how Jamie Benn put his team in a jam last year in the playoffs.
Stupid. And Tyler Sagan's making 10. He's got like 7 years left.
I know.
It's a jam.
He's
but
cool though. I like him.
him too. I just think they're pretty goddamn
Okay,
good.
so Jersey will win. Carolina is just going to go down as a great regular season team.
Okay.
They remind me of like the Blues all those years,
Yeah. And
You know what I mean?
The hitch years.
and they just couldn't ever.
I get that.
Get
I get
it
the
done.
comparison. That's a good comparison, to be honest with you.
They're just a regular
When
season.
Backus and Reaver and,
And
the
even
boys.
when it was Pronger and McInnes and,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying?
I just look at the 5 years when Hitch was there.
yeah, but look at all those years under Joel Quenneville, how good they were.
Yeah, go back. I thought more recent, but
Mm-hmm.
I get you.
Okay.
I get you.
He gets me, folks.
Not always.
I just knocked your doors off.
He blew my doors off with that hot take.
No more Jared references. Hey, the Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by the Illinois Recovery Center. Again, reach out. We can help you get in touch with
They might even
Chrissy
help.
Pondoff.
They might even be able to help Jared.
Yeah, well,
They could help anybody.
yes, they
Well,
can.
I don't know in that department. But
They don't want Jared.
they don't want fucking Jared. Unless he's got a fucking
But they want to help you and your family. 888-743-0971. Info at IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com. That's the email address. Info at IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com. That's the email. If you or someone you know wants to learn about the Illinois Recovery Center, have them call 888-743-0971. It's a premier inpatient substance abuse facility in Swansea, Illinois. And they are the absolute best, Cam.
Hell yeah.
In 10 seconds, describe the environment there.
Beautiful. Easy going. Easy on your mind. Stuff that you need when you're in hell. You need some happiness, whether it's looking out the window and seeing a meadow, whether having your windows big, or natural sunlight. I'm telling you, little things like that. The last thing you want is something down and out because you're locked in your fucking room.
It's longer than 10 seconds.
And you're
but I
sitting
got you.
in there and you're like, God, help me. And you just want to see happiness. And there's happiness there. And there's happy people that have been through hell and they've gone through it.
Yeah.
And they've beat it. And they're going to help you.
IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com. Illinois Recovery Center. Info at IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com. That's the email address. Again, 888-743-0971. My DMs are always open if you want to reach out.
Mine too.
Mine are always open. Firstform.com/Cam and Strick. When I say that, Cam, the feeling you get.
I get horny.
Oh my God. That's not what I anticipated you saying.
It's a good feeling.
Okay, but that's what
When I'm not, I know that I'm not healthy.
Okay.
When you're healthy, you're horny. When you're not, you're not.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. And I'm about to have a peanut butter lovers bar when I get out of
Yeah,
here.
man. Hell yeah.
I am about to have another bar. I probably might have 2 of them, Cam. like I did on the golf course that
Good.
day.
That's the only thing you're going to be eating for a week.
Firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Use our link. That is important.
Use our link, guys. It helps us out so much. It helps you out so much.
And download the app.
Download the app. Use our link.
Yes.
It all connects, man. You know how this goes. We got to keep this thing going.
Hey, Nikki,
you got to help our sponsors.
I'm ready for another workout, actually.
Yeah, I'll go back in that mode.
Let's do it.
Yep, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Nikki boy,
Just makes
love
me
you,
feel
homie.
better.
Love your family. I love the family at
Love
First
all
Form,
y'all.
too. All y'all out there at First Form. You're the coolest motherfuckers going. The nicest people. So comforting. You walk in there, they'll help you with things. They'll help you work out. They'll talk to you. Everybody's happy and in shape and fun and nice and comforting. You're damn right. God, if I was a young kid, I'd want to work there. I would. I'd be like, if I'm a young kid, I'd text Sal. I'd text Andy Frisella. I'd text all those guys, but hey, man, I'd love to be a part of this. I'd love to be a part of this. I would. I'd talk to Nicky Boy Clements and be like, hey, man, can I get a gig? I want to be a part of your team. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. I am part of the team, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I am.
it probably helps that you're probably by me, but it's all good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's all good.
There's no question about that.
About what?
I mean, you just got to
Are
surround.
you looking at your phone? Like, what am I bothering you with something? Are you busy?
No, we're good.
We got like 5 minutes left.
Bellman Automotive, Cam.
No swinging dicks. No Jared's either.
And they'll
So
give
you
you
know.
sushi, too, and flavored water.
It's a stupid thing to say.
Well, you don't know what I'm talking about.
It's a stupid thing to say.
It's true, though.
Sushi at a car dealership.
That's how they,
okay.
That's how they treat you.
They're like, Andy says there's sushi here. I'm coming in. I'm going to buy that Gladiator Jeep.
Buick GMC on one side of the street, Cam. On the other side, it's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. They have something for everybody. Check it out in Troy, Missouri. Get out there to Bellman Automotive today. Say hi to Dale
Damn.
and Kenny
Kenny.
and Danny Boy.
That fucking Danny boy up there. Get on with yourself.
Brett Tesson with Tesson Roofing. Describe him in 5 seconds.
Shit-kicking son batch that does a dang good job.
Yes, he does.
And he runs a tight ship over there.
Nano Shield, man.
They work for him.
It'll
hardcore.
reduce the temperature of your top floor by like 30 to 40 degrees.
Yeah, it saves you money.
Lots of
I'm
money.
hunkered down in my house
Lots
right
of money.
now.
They just
Hunkered.
spray it on your roof. They're doing it on Fortune 500 companies.
There's a reason for that. Funny
Yes.
how that works. You think a Fortune 500 company is like, I'm going to pick out a, I'm going to find Tesson Roofing because they don't have a great reputation.
He's the most preferred contractor and roofer among all the big dog insurance companies.
Funny how that works. You're damn right he is.
TessonRoofing.com.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God, Brody is sneezing like crazy.
Brody's texting somebody. I don't know what he's doing over there.
I don't know, but he is sneezing.
He's on his
Is
phone.
he doing his work? Is he?
He's got school.
He
or
like
something.
writes his papers on his phone. I could never do that.
Unless he's taught. Are you texting somebody? Who are you texting?
He's searching.
Oh, he's searching stuff.
Yeah, he's searching things and sneezing. at
Making
the
sure
same
we're
time.
like, we're
Hey,
fact-checking
we
us.
got to get out of here. Oh, but
Let's
fact
go.
checkers, reach out to me. My DMs are always open. Listen, man, I love all y'all up in Canada.
Love you guys.
East to West Coast, man. U.S.,
Down south, Arkansas. We have people
Saudis,
everywhere.
Saudis. No, we do.
Saudis, he says.
All the Saudis, man.
Saudis.
All y'all. That's some shit kickers
They
over
are our
there, man.
allies.
Hey, what's the color of Saudi?
Beige.
That is certainly true.
Well, it's desert, Andy.
I know.
They have a new thing called the line there. So you know.
Oh, well, we'll talk about
It's
that
a
next time.
It's a utopia world
sounds
that
crazy.
they're building in the desert. That's 250 miles long.
Really? Sounds nuts.
It is nuts.
Well, all right. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook,
All of us.
TikTok, everywhere
All of it.
at Cam and Strick.
All of it.
Message us. I want to see those reviews coming in. You got to crush that 5-star now.
Yeah, baby.
Crush that 5-star. Give us some reviews. Let us know what you're thinking, man. And my DMs are always open, so reach
Mine
out
too.
to me.
Love all you guys.
All y'all.
See you, homies.